Live right now on this panel. Gen X Jeff kicked us out because he went to watch TV, and I want to talk more about um, this cultural jamming and how it works from, I guess, my perspective as a Unitarian Universalist and a Discordian. So it's kind of a panel in progress. So
Yeah, so what the fuck is a Unitarian Universalist? Because I mean, you kind of described it to me, but can you just tell me like the basic, like what does that mean? Like for a dumbass like me, what does that mean?
yeah, so Unitarian Universalist is a sect of Christianity. It was derived from the Puritans. So it's kind of like the rebellion to the Puritans' oppression, and it's a very, I guess, liberal branch of Christianity with no creed. But a lot of people, a lot of members engage in social justice activities. So it's kind of like a social club, liberal Christianity that that's focused on good feelings and consistency.
Yeah, like Horton. Here's a who. That's a Unitarian Universalist story, or so I've heard.
Yes, yes. So it tends to be a bunch of rich white people, generally being in the Unitarian Universalist Church.
Yeah, it's like that this elephant has a belief about a world of people that he can't substantiate, so he can see it, but nobody else can. Yet it exists. So that's
Yeah,
kind of the whole notion behind it. It's like,
yeah, yeah. And Cultus actually wrote this down because the Discordians called have this as like the egregore model. So you have ideas just embedded in our universe as patterns. So we can just copy them across, and that's how it exists. So will outline the points of influence as a super object made out of these other pieces. Like our church is not the building, but the people who go to the building.
yeah, there's an ancient example of it, like henotheism, henotheism. Man.
Yeah, go elaborate on henotheism, please.
It's kind of like where they people they conquer different villages, and then they assimilate the gods into their pantheon.
Yes.
So that's a kind of a interesting version of a kind of ancient, view of that. The Romans did that. Certain other, it's seemingly the Hindus did that too.
Yeah, and the Jews did that as well, early on at least.
The
Wait,
Canaanites. I mean.
you said the
Yeah,
Jews? What?
yes.
The
Well,
Jews
kind
did?
of both of them, because Kabbalah, it came out the branch of just Jewish people who did henotheism.
Yeah, I guess they are kind of henotheistic, but it's more an metropolitan or perennial, in a sense, because if you look at the Lurianic Kabbalah, you know, um, and certain other doctrines, in the Kabbalistic Jews, they have a creed of. They say from Moses to Moses, there was no one like Moses. You guys ever hear that one?
I did not hear that one yet.
Yep. Yep, you could look it up. From Moses to Moses, there was no one like Moses, and they're talking about Moses, and then the second Moses is Moses Maimonides. So they're saying from the time of Moses to Moses Maimonides, there's no one like Moses. So Moses Maimonides, he actually used a lot of Neoplatonism in his philosophy. So he had a huge influence on certain strains of Judaism. Post the 11th century. He's kind of like the Thomas Aquinas of the Jews. In a way.
Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and post this
What is
in the
henotheism?
public
Sorry,
chat.
what does that mean?
Say again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you kind of cut out there, Neuro.
Yeah, what is henotheism? I never heard that before.
It's like it's how I described. It's like assimilating other gods into your pantheon once you conquer them.
So, well, yeah, actually, this is kind of what the Gnostic informant and Myth Vision and the Mythicists kind of talk about in a weird way. Like they kind of admit that Judaism was essentially
Right. Yeah.
that, right? And so you're saying there is some truth to that, right?
Well, they're kind of saying it in a kind of a different way, that the Jews had to hide information, so, and they belong to mystery cults. So they're saying that the Jews actually belong to the Egyptian mystery cults. That's where they got their information from. So there's a little bit for the Gnostic informant and myth vision, and I talk about this in kind of the first part of my book, that there is a interesting mix between the actual belief of the Gnostics, astrotheology on the other end, and also the belief in mythicism. Because a lot of mythicists come to the conclusion that the Gnostics started Christianity, and that's exactly what the Gnostics say happened. So it's like you're giving the Gnostics exactly what they want. If you had to devise a doctrine, because one of the people from the Tübingen school, I think it's Herman Dietering or one of these other guys, they actually say that St. Paul was Simon Magus, the founder of Gnosticism. So they say there's a 1-in-1 link between Gnosticism and Paul. They say actually the character of Paul is Simon Magus, the fountainhead of all heresies mentioned by St. Irenaeus. So that is like kind of a wild twist. And I think it's a twist that's like, because in the 18th century, they're being influenced by the occult revival. So they're like, oh, yeah. The occults, they say that, the religion comes from this esoteric and the exoteric, and who actually follows that? Oh, yeah, the Gnostics follow that. Because there's this whole hidden world. You need the gnosis to understand the teaching. So yeah, they had this whole confluence of understandings, along the 18th century, where they were like, and and I think these guys like Elaine Pagels, they follow this kind of thing today, but see, that's what I was trying to explain on my show yesterday, that Gnosticism and atheism, they kind of share the same epistemology. And I was trying to show that on the previous presentation too, that kind of like Buddhism and atheism and solipsism of Bertrand Russell, they kind of share the same essential epistemology, that you can't prove anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, no, not quite. They're not quite the same. So, like, atheism
Right.
uses Christianity and removes God. Because Buddhism takes Hinduism and removes their gods and their ancestor worship and part of their metaphysics too. And nihilism kind of just, it's a blank piece of paper. You can write anything on there. So it kind of has the same result, but it's not, if they're not from the same source, so it changes the background a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like in Buddhism, you have this kind of realm, because we're trapped in a world of illusion, right? In samsara, right? So so Maya and samsara, is a world of illusion. Then nirvana is the enlightenment, right? So the problem is this links 1-in-1 with the idea of seeing through the world, right? Seeing into the world of spirit through gnosis. You get, what I mean, right? So the world is illusion. If you see through it, you enter gnosis. So that's why people like Blavatsky and these types of people, they took 1-in-1 link, especially between the Mahayana Buddhist tradition and the radical mystical tradition of the Western religions. So they have a 1-in-1 they make a 1-in-1 link to it, but not saying that there is one. But as I was explaining, in the 18th century, they just went ahead and they just finagled it. You know, they said, "Oh yeah, well, you know, Paul is just Simon Magus, so you know, it doesn't matter anymore." You know,
That there's actually a good argument to be made that Gnostics did start Christianity, or do you think that it's more like that's kind of like a psyop for some other ulterior motive? Like,
well, it's not start. They couldn't have started it. They were just one of the interpretations. You know, like they're in the 2nd century. You know, so whenever those gospels and those books came out, that was like already 100 years before that. So there was all these guys like 100 years before those guys that were just like Christians. So Gnosticism developed like out of, you know, like the 2nd and 3rd tier like people. So there's already these guys like Tertullian and you know, Justin Martyr and Origen and all these kind of guys running around before that, you know.
well, yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing to me. It's like, you know, like I don't want to be. I really don't want to be direct, but I don't know how else to ask it. Like, what would you say the religion of? What would you say the religion of Jesus most likely was? Like, I think Judaism is a kind of a misnomer, no matter how you slice it, because what was Judaism? Well, it was probably a mixed bag of different things to different people. But like, it seems that like kind of what you posted from Adam Green today seemed to say is like, well, the Orthodox Church and maybe the Catholic Church are kind of carrying on the Pharisee version of Judaism into a new age, with the understanding that Jesus was a Messiah of some sort, right? Is that and so I guess if and Jesus certainly seemed to indicate he's not a Pharisee. So what would you say that his was?
I think that Adam Green's not really going full there with it. But what he was trying to say is that like, because he's smart, you know, so he's not gonna say like, look, this means that they're actually carrying on the right the way that Jay Dyer just comes out and says, well, they're carrying out the liturgical right is the temple right, which is shocking. I mean, that's a shocking statement. I think anybody who's a Christian should find dismay at that, because it's like, dude, do you really want to like fucking fall into being like the fucking synagogue of Satan or some shit like that? Like, this sounds fucking whack as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? But the other thing about it is that you know, that it kind of reinforces the idea of the messianic commitment of the Jews. You know, that's already there. So we don't have to imagine that there's a link between the two. You know, it's just that, oh yeah, they just conveniently have this ideology that they're following the Kabbalistic you know, tradition, and the you know, in the Jewish mystical tradition and the inner mystical tradition and the real meaning of Judaism, you know, that they're the ones following this, while there's also this messianic Judaism that also claims the same thing. So there's a
Yeah,
weird ideological parallel between the two that's unsettling, you know.
yeah,
Like,
but
there doesn't have to be a ideological root or even a link there, you know. It just you know, it parallels you know, their intentions reinforce each other, you know.
yeah, but it's well known what Jesus was. He was a Nazarene, and that was its own philosophy. He wasn't from Nazareth. He was a Nazarene.
Yeah,
I forgot what that
wasn't
entailed, though.
Nazareth wasn't really a place back then, right? It was more of the it was a what, you know, it was a sect or something.
Yeah,
What are
it
the
wasn't a place yet. It was an
and
idea first before it was a
and
place.
right, and what exactly did the Nazarenes believe? Because I've heard different things about, you know, asceticism essentially, or something to that effect, right?
I'm not sure. I would have to go look it up.
Well, it's close. It's close to the Ebionites, and you know, they basically follow James and stuff, and they don't eat like you know, they don't really eat meat. They're kind of poor. They take poverty among themselves. You know, they fast and stuff. You know, they're kind of like these very hardcore type of people, and they follow a lot of the Jewish commandments. You know, they keep the law, the 10 commandments, and all that kind of stuff. You know, they're strict to all of these things.
So they're more about the spirit of the law rather than the letter of the law, versus the Pharisees are more like letter of the law and manipulation of people based on that, or something. I mean, I know I'm way overgeneralizing, but is that
Yeah, if you look at the book of the Ebionites, you know, they have books like the Clementine Homilies, you know, you know, and they kind of talk about James, and you know, the you know, yeah, they kind of talk about him in this kind of ascetic way, that he didn't drink alcohol, you know, he didn't eat meat, you know, that he was a vegetarian, that Peter like lived on like you know, bread and olives and stuff, and you know, that they're very frugal, very simple people that were very pious, you know, and they knew more about Judaism than like the Jewish priests did. You know, they knew more about Judaism than the rabbis. They could argue about the Jewish law with the best of the rabbis. You know, and they also, in Acts, you know, it says that they formed the Jerusalem Council, and the Jerusalem Council had, you know, rules, you know, that were kind of you know, rules for the apostle, you know, to the circumcised, you know, as Paul says he was sent to the uncircumcised as the apostle, you know, and this role is given to him in Acts, you know. So he's sent to do a different mission. So he kind of has this whole battle about these people eating meat sacrificed to idols, and also being circumcised, because what Greek that's like, you know, already old, you know, is going to go and get circumcised just to join Christianity? He said that that shouldn't be a rule, you know. So because you know, you know, and the meat sacrificed to idols, he said there's no way, because, you know, it's just you know, you couldn't be able to eat with the Gentiles. Then you wouldn't be able to share a meal with the Gentiles sometimes.
Yes.
You know?
So it comes with, do you want to be strict in adherence, or you want to have cultural influence, and it's just navigating that compromise.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. That's not the way that Christians would see it. The Christians would say that he was sent to bring either, if you're a Protestant, you'd say he's meant to bring everybody into the fold of salvation, or you know, if you're a Catholic, you would say that he was there to preach a universal doctrine that was the fulfillment of the law, you know, from the Old Testament, you know.
So
Yeah.
well, hold on. What's the major difference between those two things? So like Catholicism is basically saying, well, that we just need to bring morality to the masses, versus Protestants are looking for like personal salvation. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like they're trying to sanctify humanity essentially through the Catholic version, and then I think the Protestants take it more as like a personal endeavor to some degree, right? Like they're trying to say, well, you have to have a personal relationship with God, and via that you'll, you know.
Well, the Protestants are trying to say that he's trying to bring people into the fold of like a pre-existing form of salvation that was there for the Jews, right? Because they're following sola scriptura, right? So they're just reading it like that. But the Catholics are saying this is actually a sort of progressive revelation. You know, that means that it's a new revelation that actually stands above and beyond the previous revelation and is alluded to within the previous revelation. You know, so
yeah. No, here's the interesting thing to me. And like, feel free to not engage with this, because I think we're getting into very upsetting territory. Let's just put it that way. But
I'm okay with that. Let's go.
no, I know, but like I actually do want to take this with delicacy, because like you know, I still consider myself a Christian, but at the same time, like there are very big questions for me about some of this. So for Protestants, my understanding is basically you have, I'll just count it from James Ford, you know, King James Ford, just because I know that Martin Luther did his thing, and whatever his mission was, he was probably, you know, involved with some occultism and stuff, and I think James likely was too. So let's just say that that was a Rosicrucian-esque update of Christianity, for various reasons. What do you think the Catholic occultism was? Like, was it a direct Roman pantheon thing, or was it like an amalgamation between Judaism of the Pharisees and the Roman thing, or what was like? Because and I'm kind of going backwards, because it's like you have the Rosicrucian version, then that was based off a different occult version with the Catholics, and then before that,
you know what it is. It's the Jesuits. Remember, you know what it is.
well, I don't know. Well, Jesuits didn't come around till the 1100s, right, or some shit, like, or 1200, 1300, something like that, right?
Well, that's a Catholic form of occultism. You know the name.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who started the, what was the occult influence of the foundation of the Catholic Church? Is kind of what I'm trying to get at, right? Like, before the Jesuits, because there was something before the Jesuits, right? Like it was Rand would say it's Mithraism, right? And then I think we're talking about perennialism and Judaism, with the Pharisees and and that kind of thing. And I'm trying to trace it back, because it seems like the early Christians was probably Nazarenes, Pharisees, Sadducees, and Gnostics. So you had like at least 4 different branches of Judaism.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it depends how far you want to go back, and if you go back far enough, you're gonna get to the time of the flood. And then you see that, that what actually devolved was the, that all of these forms of civilization are actually, part of the edifice of the religion of those Nephilim that were here.
Well, and and see that I don't want to say that I believe this, because I don't want to get, mental health professionals to be concerned with me, but there does seem that are especially a lot of
well, it's either that or evolution. I mean, let's just be honest.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
Right.
why would you be afraid of mental health professionals? I'm literally an open Discordian. They say I'm fine.
No, I know, but I'm kind of joking, but not joking. But here's the point I'm trying to make, which is that, come on, dude, get out of the refrigerator. Come on. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Part of Judaism thinks that they are chosen via the blood and or secret knowledge, right? So there's already an element of both those things there within it. They think they're special, right? And then with Christianity, it seemed that it's supposed to be like a pathway for other people to become special, because it's failed, essentially. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, where does all this fit in, essentially? And like you said, if you go back far enough, you have, evolution or interference in mankind.
Well, that's part of the thing, isn't it? Because Paul explains it as the mystery. And the mystery is literally God becoming man, and how that's possible. Basically, as Eusebius puts it, he said, God became like man so that man could become like God. And that goes to the essential nature, where it combines really everything, where it not only fits in Protagoras, where man is the measure of all things, but then it also flips it on its head. It says, no, all things are the measure of man. It's like, oh shit. It's like, well,
and what?
That almost implies like panpsychism to some degree, in a way.
Yeah. If you go to Neoplatonism, it kind of is, because it has a universal mind in there. And that's another thing that that Eusebius actually explains the Trinity through Plotinus. And he actually uses the concept of the universal mind, which is also called the nous, and there's also the concept of the one, or the good, and then there's the concept of the world soul, which is basically essentially the Holy Spirit. But the problem is in Plotinus, they had these 3 things in a hierarchy, whereas in the Trinity, you can't have them in a hierarchy. You have to have them consubstantial,
Yes. In fact, I have training model myself. You can keep talking. I'm going to go ahead and find it and
Yep.
present it.
Wasn't Plotinus the guy who was basically like Alexandrian court philosopher guy or something, but he was basically like a Gnostic or or something to that effect? Am I wrong about that? Or
Who are you asking about?
Plotinus.
Plotinus is a teacher from North Africa, who's a student of another Neoplatonist named Ammonius Saccas, who also taught the Christian philosopher Origen. Like the three main guys that they say that are pre all of the church and the Gnostic teachings are Tertullian, Justin Martyr, and Origen. And they all and a lot of their students devolved into Gnosticism, but some of their doctrines were used for the church teachings. Like, for example, Tertullian's view of essence and existence was used to formulate the view of the Trinity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I just noticed that it's like when you talk to people who are literally Gnostics now, they have no reason to hide that kind of stuff, right? But then when you talk to Christians, they kind of say, well, Origen was right about some things and he was wrong about others, and like I'm not shit talking. Like, I'm actually saying, like, there is definitely Gnostic influence in Christianity, and the only thing is, like, if you're saying that Christianity that was totally false, I'm open to that argument, but it's like where do you really draw the line of the definition of what Gnosticism is, right? Like it seems like it's a very thin line, if I'm honest, and maybe it's because I'm confused, but is that
it's because it contains Basilides and Valentinus, because Basilides and Valentinus are kind of almost diametrically opposed to each other.
I don't know what either one of those are, by the way.
Like Basilides said that
philosophies.
The school of Basilides is like an early Christian philosophy school that falls in line with the Coptic Apocalypse of Peter,
okay,
where Christ's spirit hovers above his crucifixion, and Peter, it laughs because Christ is laughing at his own crucifixion.
Wow, I never heard that.
Yeah, and then in the Gnostic doctrines, the crucifixion of Christ is more brought into the central theme of the Logos and the idea of alphabet and notions in metaphysics that are provided through Greek philosophy. So they have a lot of so they have these concepts such as emanation. So a lot of the Gnostic doctrine is emanationism, whereas the Basilides is kind of like a fundamental
I'm with you. If y'all can remember what the conversation was, thank you for bringing me up to speed.
Yeah, for sure.
but don't Christians believe in emanationism to some degree, or am I confused about that? Like,
well, the Logos exists from the beginning of creation. But in the kind of Valentinus, they have a more of a form of emanationism, where it's that these are three kind of aspects of each other, and then you have kind of Basilides, who his thing is kind of more like modalism. You know what I mean?
What I'm sorry, because I heard people throw that term around, and I really apologize. But what's the difference between emanationism and modalism? What's
I'll tell you what it is. Okay, in emanationism, the Logos is basically subordinated. So God creates the world through the Logos. So the Logos is kind of like a created thing. In the because it's an emanation of God, right? So is the concept of words and reason itself, so language itself, now in modalism, God, the Holy Spirit, and the Son are three different modes of the same thing. So God becomes Jesus, and then it becomes the Holy Spirit. Get it? Right? But in the Trinity, they don't believe that. They believe that God, Holy Spirit, and Jesus existed from the beginning for all eternity, alongside each other. Right? And and not only that, but they're made of the same essence. You could have that, or you could have tritheism. Tritheism says that they're all three separate gods. You know.
Well, but hold on, like this is, but I heard a bunch of Christians say that they don't accept modalism, but like the Trinity implies modalism, does it not?
I thought it did when he said it.
Yeah, their Trinity model has to apply modalism, or it's not Trinity, or they don't know the count. In fact, I would go as far as saying they don't know the count.
Yeah, like I'm actually not trying to insult. I'm just trying to understand. It's like I heard a bunch of Christians recently say, well, modalism is wrong. And I'm like, well, based on what you just described, it's like it literally describes the Trinity because they're saying that Jesus and the Holy Spirit are uncreated, meaning, you know, they're literally from the beginning forward, right? So
yeah, which is why I made my own Trinity model, which has been on the screen. To have God the Father, which is an eldritch abomination, and he controls the Holy Spirit, which is an egregore thought form, and Jesus Christ as well as other prophets. So there's a knowability barrier there, because I'm assuming in my model that God the Father is omniscient and omnipotent. But if he is, he can reset the timeline whenever he wants. This may not even have happened because he's so powerful. We can't know him directly. We can only know him through things we find in the world that we can that can't just reset themselves whenever.
Hank, I have a little problem because you say he can reset the timeline. I thought time was an invention of him, and it wasn't really even a thing. Why would maybe I don't understand when you
with omnipotence, any contradictions possible. So this conversation we're having right now, well, it may have not. If God decided so, this conversation never happened. And
not logical. Why would or maybe not logical? Why would that seems unnecessary? If he's omniscient and omnipotent, he wouldn't have to make it undo it. He would have saw the shit coming a mile away.
Well, once you're that powerful, contradictions just happen. So we can have this conversation, and it can never exist at the same.
I agree with that part. I don't agree with the second part. I do agree we could be having this conversation and never having. In fact, I believe that is exactly what's happening an unlimited amount of times over and over. Yeah. I think that it's time and it's number shit. I'm interrupting you. Go ahead with your presentation.
No, you're allowed to do that.
All right.
No, I think that's useful that you interjected, because it is good to kind of conceptualize, because you know, the whole omnipotence thing is you're saying that essentially if he knows that what's going to happen anyways, he doesn't actually have to undo it, because
yes, he would have never allowed it or changed it from the beginning. It wouldn't even have been a thing if he deemed it necessary.
Yeah, but he's at the point of being so powerful. It can contradictory happen and not happen in some sense somehow, and we can't possibly.
I agree it could and not, but why would he change it though? Why would he? If you say if he so needed to, he'd change it. I just don't see a reason why he'd had to change the thing if I knew it was going to happen. I got the flat tire fixed.
Yeah,
before
I don't know either. I don't know either, but he's so much more powerful than me. Been my assumption that I wouldn't be able to figure out why anyway.
This is true. It could be both. Could be.
No, that's why he has that little barrier, no ability barrier, basically saying like you can never know you can never know what God wants, because God can do anything he wants. So
very good. I could be absolutely wrong. I'll admit to that.
It's not even that you're wrong. It's that it like there's no way you could possibly comprehend what's going on, because it's unknowable.
You put it better. Yeah, you put it better. I'm using my tiny intellect to figure something out, so it's truly unknowable.
Well, no, and this is actually important, because this is what you actually learn it when you start learning Christian theology. Like this is actually pretty accurate in my opinion. Like you can only know God through the Holy Spirit in Jesus. So it's not. It sounds crazy, but that's actually what Christianity believes. Like they think
Do
that.
you remember what was that? The Higgs boson, when they discovered that. There was an uproar against it. And matter of fact, science still took and probably taking a beating over that. But they said we need to discover this particle because then we will it will help us know the mind of God. And they called it the God particle. We're looking for the God particle because we'll know God, blah, blah, blah. In that sense, and I could be wrong still with the knowing boundary. In that sense, I think I can tell by the clues what type of, I could know some things. I could tell what type of cat this is. In the same way that part, I can look at you and tell what the creator is like. Right? The God part helps me to see what the creator is like. At least I think. I could be totally wrong.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
there's
if,
oh yeah, go ahead, Hank.
yeah, if the creator's limited, it would be possible to know what the creator's like through the creation. But if we assume an omnipotent and omniscient creator, we can't possibly know.
Yeah, I like your concept of the knowability barrier. You know, because
It must be there. Yeah.
you're talking about how the concept of God relates to the notion of epistemology, and you're kind of taking a stab at Plato. You know, and that's the difference between Plato's cosmology and that of Maimonides, because Maimonides presented that there was such a knowability barrier. You know, and he also argued that he had to argue that the universe was not eternal. He had to argue creation ex nihilo, as they say. You know what I mean? Which means creation out of nothing. You know, so that was a difficulty for the Greeks. You know, they had posited that the universe was eternal, and then the Christians come out and say, well, the Logos exists alongside God through all of creation, right? So they kind of, hacked this issue too, by developing their own cosmology. So you could just focus on the problem on a different level, introduce new entities on a different level, and solve the problem. So that's an obvious sidestep, but what it is that is about the idea, because Plato assumed that knowledge is just there, that everybody just has knowledge from the beginning. Now in the science, now science says, well, 99.9% of the shit is actually space, and the space is more dense than the matter. And we actually don't know what the space is made of. We only know what the fuck the matter is made of. So they're admitting that they don't know 99.9% of anything.
And listen, we should take heed to that. If what you said is true, we are so focused and most of us make all of our judgments on the 1%. That would mean that 99% is on the other side of that. Well, right now we don't know 99% of that shit, but we caveman, and that's a overestimation of ourselves.
No, actually, and that's why I think I pissed off a lot of Christians, because like based on everything that we know, like it doesn't make any sense to have any other attitude about it other than we only know 1% or less of what's going on around us.
Yes.
That's exactly what everything is telling us, including science, right? So, to say,
wait. I'm sorry, let me interrupt you though, but you made me think, and I'm old.
No, go ahead.
But if the 99%, shit, I forgot where I was going. It made me think of something else. All right, you keep talking, maybe it'll come back.
Yeah, like we have Stephen Wolfram trying to look into the 99% with his physics project. He's putting pretty much all the matter and the space at the same level to figure out more about how the universe works.
Here we go. I can interrupt you twice. I think the 99%. I think we have some clues to that too. When we look at it, if you catch up, quantum physics fans, the force carriers, the things that carry forces that you can't see, supposedly magnetic, gravity. They're there and you can't see them. now we assume that the invisible particles, you can make some assumptions about the invisible particles that you know of. Therefore, we can make some assumptions about the invisibility of what antimatter would be and what matter would be, which is the dark matter. Is it dark matter and dark energy? I think is what it is.
Yeah, dark matter and dark energy. Yes.
We can make some assumptions about what we know about force carriers, in my opinion.
Yes, and photons
Right.
and the fields.
Right, and that's the thing is, like, science doesn't has nothing to do with discounting that God or anything supernatural.
I agree. It's weird.
Well, that's the thing, is that it kind of that's why a lot of people say it points back to the supernatural, because when you go to light, you figure out, oh, light is a theory. And you say, well, what the fuck is a theory? And they say gravity, that's a theory. And you say, what is a theory? And they say a theory is a fucking equation. So they say, oh shit, so light is an equation. Gravity is an equation. So these things are not only theorized to be physical entities, not real physical entities, but they're also mathematical equations. So they're mathematical entities.
Where you going with that? Where you going with that? I'm not sure.
Well, what I'm saying is that to take the point back to Stephen Wolfram, he's a mathematician, and he said that simple rules can create complex games or complex systems or complex patterns to emerge. And the way you do this, you could take
the tree of life or whatever they call it. Advanced mathematics. I forget what they call them, but yes, they use a simple pattern.
You could take on and off, just on and off. You make two switches, one on, one off, 1 0 1 1 1 1,
and we do miracles with it.
You could literally make anything with those two. You can create any language with 0 and 1.
So how does that go back to what are you saying about the light, the particles? So because why they a theory, and what's that got to do with anything?
Well, it goes back to one fundamental principle, is that do infinities exist? And then once we understand if infinities exist, whether they're actual or virtual, right, then we can understand how much information can be contained within so-called reality,
right. So were you saying light is real and not or just a theory, or both?
Like for example, if infinities are actual, you may just have to build a bigger atom smasher to get a smaller particle, and you could do that.
I think I understand you on all of those things. I'm trying to understand where you were going with it.
Yeah,
I understand and agree with all of those things.
Yeah, you'll never get to a fundamental particle. It's just that you built a bigger atom smasher. You know what I mean?
Logical.
And you get more stuff out.
But are you saying?
Exactly.
I thought when you started, you were making a comment on whether light was real thing or just a theory.
I'll answer that. I have an answer for that. So basically, if realness itself is defined by whether stuffs are interacting with each other. So because we interact with light, we would call it real. But if there's something that we just don't interact with, it will not be real.
That's where the truth would probably lie.
Yeah. So this realness is just defined how if the objects interact in the same memory space, and if it doesn't, it relative to each other, they don't exist.
Yeah, it seems logical. I'm trying to think of shit outside of that, and nothing popped in my head yet.
Yeah, and this is kind of like Plato's idea of that in order to be light, there has to be sight, essentially. So there has to be.
That's what Hank is saying. Yes.
Yeah. So essentially, there has to be, going back to, somebody has to be watching for light to appear. So he's talking about that light doesn't just come from anywhere. It comes with, ready-made with the property of observation.
Yes.
Well,
but it's slightly more fundamental, because to observe light,
right,
it's less. You just need to absorb it on the electromagnetic spectrum. So if you have just any particle that can take the light in and turn it into heat, then that
Right.
counts enough as the observation. You don't
Well,
need an eye to see the light. You just
and there's
need,
also
I dig it.
light that we can't see, and there's also this conflation with math being real rather than a representation of what
I
is.
like it. Yes.
That's right.
yeah, math isn't real. It's something we use to describe computation, which happens in the universe.
Yeah.
It's a language that's describing
And if
computation.
and in that same fashion, this might be a little bit of a jump. I don't believe that time is real. It's just something to help us interact. It's like our visual shit or our heat detector. Time is to give us something that our detectors can detect so that we can function. I think it's just a fucking creation, pointing to a creator, pointing to God.
I pretty much agree with you. I mean, I think you could try to make other arguments, but I think that functionally, that's pretty much the way I look at it as well. I mean, it's and the reason I keep bringing this kind of stuff up is like when you talk to some of these people, like they conflate what you're saying with like, well, time is reality, or they say math is reality, and it's like, well, how can a concept be reality? It doesn't.
Well,
That was
here's,
dope. How
here's
could a
how.
concept be?
So I can tell you how. So the concepts or patterns overlaid on the objects, but those concepts have to be stored somewhere. So if we have the concept in our brain, it's a pattern in our brain, and that's how we interpret what's out there. But still, that will have to be a physical pattern because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Because
Well-
everything here in the universe has to be stored somewhere.
But do you think that that's an indication that there is a manipulation hoisted onto human beings to hold this kind of belief system that has no basis in anything that you could call objective?
What I'm saying is that we have no basis to claim objectivity at all because we have no choice but to observe the universe through our interfaces.
No, exactly. But like one reason I love William Gibson.
That was dope.
He has this phrase that he coined, which is consensual mass hallucination. Like we can all on our we can consensually agree upon some things that we all observe, but it doesn't mean that that's real in the sense like it's right. Like
Yeah.
That's why I would say we have what are it called? I find a fancy transfer. So we have
I think Hank is getting a
you go,
download
yeah, you go
from
first,
his
Joe.
computer
Cool.
in his head. No, I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say. I don't remember what dude said, but it was groovy.
Yeah, this is why I had to write a book so I can know my vocabulary. But you have personal stuff and you have just interrelated stuff. Then allegedly we have the objective out there somewhere, but we have no access to.
yeah, well,
Yeah, go ahead. I was gonna tell you if you could continue on that line that you were talking about. Neurojack. I'm talking about Neurojack.
Yeah, go ahead, Neurojack.
If you can remember.
Yeah, no, I was just saying consensual mass hallucination, and basically what I'm saying is like, I think as a Christian I can say, well, Jesus is objectively real, and I can make that claim, but also at the same time, like I recognize I'm not gonna convince the world of that, and and there's a limitation to how much I can and will.
You may have sensors that they don't have. Or that they're unaware of anyway. You've had you can see stuff that they can't see. Keep it in tune with our theory of being able to sense a thing, the light. If you don't have eyes, you can't see. You can only see a certain part of the light spectrum with human eyes. Then perhaps people you've developed sensors, and the reason you can't could explain it to them is because you've experienced something that they haven't experienced yet, meaning you probably have a sensor or detector that they haven't developed or don't have.
Yes.
No, I actually agree with that, and I think that's kind of what I'm getting to. With like, you know, we've kind of been sold this idea of quote unquote objective reality, but the truth is, like, a lot of things that we take for granted. And Joe, you're familiar with the court system, right? Like,
I
you know,
love it.
use they use language that you like when the judge or a lawyer asks you, do you understand what I mean by this?
Right.
You really got to say, I don't understand, and you got to really make sure
Or
they
you can change it to I comprehend. You just can't say those magic words, though, right? You can't say I. Go ahead.
yeah, because what they're asking you to accept their version of what of their language. But my point is, like, you can open up a dictionary and find 3 or 4 different meanings in a regular dictionary of what that word means, right?
And probably may not mean what the court means. Right, the court they use their words. I'm sure Black's Law Dictionary, but not in the average dictionary. You'll even know what a motor vehicle meant. The fucking Webster's will give you a different than a Black's Law. Right, it'll be
exactly. And this is the problem. The general population, when you read a scientific abstract, try to understand what they're actually saying. Well, you know, not to quote my Christian friends, but there's a lot of presuppositions that you have to accept in order to read that abstract, right? Like, you have to already agree with their assumptions about the world in order to read that thing functionally. You see what I'm saying? Like, you
pretty much.
Yeah.
You have to at least know their assumptions. You may not have to agree with all of them. You just have to pretty much know them to read it properly.
But my point is, if you ever wanted to argue against their scientific method, their methodology, you'd have to, like you said, you have to at least comprehend what frame of reference they're using to do that, and what is the purpose of them doing that. And that's the thing, is, like, you try to figure out why they're trying to gene edit human beings right now. Well, they can give you a million different, you know, excuses in the public, but when you start reading the documentation for that stuff, it's like, well, you know, they put it in.
What do you think? Because I do some of that dumb shit.
No, it's simple. It's pretty simple most of the time. Because scientists research because they want to be famous, or they want to get laid, or they want to have money.
Hey Hank, I just caught a little sense of relief and shit. It was, just popped in my head. Oh, this is Hank's room, and I thought, I am not under Jack's tyranny, and it made me feel good for 2 seconds, y'all. Like, while she was talking, I just realized this is your room.
Yeah, and you're under my tyranny.
Right. I don't know if I prefer it yet or not, because I haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah.
But just be up from under that shit, and I was like, I got new rights or something. Just popped up when I realized it was your room.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm going to focus on the information. So I'm not going to shut you up because I'm a grandstand and say God's going to work for me and pay for my house, because I know I had to go to work tomorrow, literally.
Go set you up a grandstand.
Yeah. So I'm here to get to the root of the problem, trying to find as much information as possible. This is probably the most nerdy panel you can possibly be on.
Yes, and I prefer that because I'll have these theories that I can't test in other places, and so yeah, I prefer this at least sometimes.
Yeah. So I'll let you finish your thought.
I don't even remember my thought, but you made me think of another reason it's good to be here. When you have open-minded motherfuckers who are not sensitive, I could throw around some theories and stuff.
Exactly. That's why I'm here too. It's like I can't stand all these like very extremely sensitive people. Like, you can't even get a thought out before they're like jumping up, yelling at you like, what the fuck? Wow.
The conversation never ends because I say, Hank, you have a good argument, and some third party says arguing is not good. Me and Hank understood what the fuck I was saying. Shut up and let us keep going.
Yeah. And the thing is, I like to have my own room because some of those people, they have their script, but I want to get down to brass tacks. So if they did come up, I'll go ahead, let them run all the way through the script, then say, okay, let's get serious now. I have the chance to do that.
Well, right. Yeah. Sometimes the only way you can get down to brass tacks is to break down the structure and then find the pieces to rebuild it. I mean, like that, and they don't want to do that because it's uncomfortable,
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
This is like they say, truth as if it is a quest for the truth. There'd be Socrates. Machine Lines might be going. He might be a fan of Socrates. He believed that philosophy was a quest for the truth. And God dog, I get too high.
Yeah, I understand that.
No, Socrates is one of my favorite philosophers. I mean, and I've been but the idea of the guy willing to go and just basically be a dick to everybody, regardless.
You're in and out. Is it just me or is he in? Is it mine or his?
He's in and out, unfortunately.
All right.
I'm gonna come back in. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you back up on stage.
All right.
So,
Good.
I actually am a bigger fan of Thrasymachus because Thrasymachus has the workaround for that issue Neurojack was talking about. Yeah, Thrasymachus has the workaround for the issue Neurojack was talking about. So we're not sure if people understand if what we're talking about, but the workaround is that there's stuff in front of us we can still point to. We pretty much know based on their physiology, they'll understand that they'll be able to see the thing most of the time. So you have this marker, I point to it. If you don't know what it means, you can see the object itself. We can still see, we can still sense the same object. So we have a very, very good chance to at least agree to the things there and what it is.
I
It's
think the
the best
workaround is what science is, but I don't want to detract from it.
Let's talk about that.
I think the workaround.
It's got a little bit of similarity because the sophists believe that that rhetoric overcomes logic. See, basically Plato believed that the principles of logic were transcendental, meaning that they exist like that they basically trickle down into this world through a transcendental realm, but they're not really part of this world. They're kind of like super order.
I see the logic in that.
Yeah, but the sophists said no, they're not super orders. They just exist as things that of definitions of things based on what we just make up. So the sophists said no, it's power that comes before ethics. Whereas Plato said no, it's ethics that comes before politics. The sophists weren't willing to play that game. They said no, we got.
Well, and would you argue that isn't that the interesting thing to me? Like to me, this is the interesting thing of what you said. Like it's almost like they combine the sophistry and they can with Platonic ideas. Like they've taken.
Yeah, that's what the modern age really is. It's like they finally, said, and that's through the
But because like basically what they've done is use sophistry to hijack reality. Like they're basically trying to make people believe in shit that can't possibly be true in order to change reality into something it can't possibly be. Like that's I know that's
but I have the sophist position, and we could just the existence of this panel kind of affirms it because we kind of understand what we're talking about, but we couldn't finish our sentences unless I was the host and allowed it. So the fact that this panel even exists proves the sophist position. Otherwise, we would be able to finish our thoughts in other places.
I think I hear what you said. Hold on a second.
Well, and I just want to mention that term one more time. The Gibson term, consensual mass hallucination, right? Like to some degree, I think that most people who are religious have to agree that what we're experiencing here is not the end all be all of reality, but we still have to treat it as if it kind of is, right? Like we there is some things that we're going to have to agree as we just call it reality, but it doesn't mean that it's all that there is in actuality, right? Like it's just we can't really go beyond what we're hearing. Like we can use math and science and measurement to postulate and even do things that seem like magic, like build things that can do amazing things that we couldn't do before. But we're not really going to be able to go beyond a certain level of manipulating nature, I guess.
Why would you say it's not magic, though?
Well, I mean, I do kind of call it magic personally because I think that, I think that the fact that Christians, or just really anybody, but I'll just say Christians, kind of just take for granted, well, all the scientific technological stuff is, it's just us doing something for our own benefit. And it's like, well, if you take the Bible seriously, we're kind of using magical practices to make our life quote unquote more convenient, but we don't think about the cost of that in a spiritual sense, at least, right? And but
yes, but the Bible itself tells us magical practices to make our lives more convenient.
Say that again.
The Bible itself tells us magical practices to make our lives more convenient. That's pretty much that's like half those.
It says they do make it more convenient, or we should use them. And
the Bible gives us magical practices
for that purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you give me an example of what you mean by that?
So, like a lot of the food laws prevent people from getting sick and dying because they didn't have ways to process those pieces of food. Like shellfish had like waterborne illness, pork had trichinosis in it, so they say don't eat the pork. So a lot of food laws existed to protect the people from what's in it.
What's that to do with magic?
Because being healthy is magical in itself. So if the Bible tells us how to avoid some of the worst food for your health, then
it's telling us to use magic.
Well, yeah, in a sense, yes, because of how important health is.
No, I don't know if that's the best example, but I get what you're saying. I mean, even like the ways in which people, sacrificed an animal in order to appease God or something, like
that sounds more like, well, if they're using magic for a thing. So
yeah, I mean, for both,
but
I also see like, I mean, I think for me, one of my favorite parts of the Bible is when Jesus sits down for dinner and he doesn't wash his hands and he starts eating, and they say, you're unclean, you're not washing his hands. And he says, well, it doesn't matter how much you wash your hands, you'll always be dirty on the inside. You know what I mean? Like, so,
yeah, but here's the thing. Some magic works better than other magic, and that's where science comes in to test it.
I dig it. And wait, just for the record, I'm not sure if magic even exists. I'm trying to see what definition you guys are using for magic. I believe all magic can be explained. We're just unable to explain it. Even if that witch doctor shit worked, there's an explanation for it that he hasn't found. So it's not really magic is where I'm going.
Well, I guess here's the argument I'm making. Like, what is the difference between white magic and black magic? I mean, I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I would just say this, like, how can you really measure either one? Because, at what point does the magical practice control you versus you're using it to control outside things? Like, you're using your time, your energy, your attention to change reality for some end, but then in doing that, now that end has become, it's like a two-way street. Like, just like, okay, I want to build this giant pyramid, right? Well, in the act of doing that, there's all the other things you could have done other than that.
Yeah.
And now you become a slave to this.
You become trapped. That's dope. And pyramid was a good example because it took so long to build.
Yeah, and again, like, I'm not saying that means you ought not do it, but what I'm saying is, at what point do you really have the ability to say no? And I think that, like, if you look at these phones in our hand, like, I don't think it's really possible that we're all going to throw them in the trash can tomorrow and walk away from it, even if we knew that it was good, right? Like, we cannot do it, right? So
zero.
Yeah, so it's magic, but in the same sense, it's like, is the magic controlling us, or are we controlling the magic?
It goes both ways. It controls us, we control it, and we control each other with it. And so I've actually put my definition of magic in the outside chat. And religion, the process of manipulating variants of a universe, and also I say religion and magic are synonyms.
Religion and magic are synonyms. I didn't hear the first part because I was thinking about I shouldn't smoke so much weed.
Well, weed is definitely magic. I'll put it that, in my opinion. Weed.
So I also have my definition of. I put my definition of technology in outside chat. Technology, the process for detecting invariants of the universe. So then variance is why some magic works better than other magic.
Oh my God, that's why I smoke too much weed. I can't, hold on to shit. It gets harder the more weed you smoke. I had to keep asking you to repeat your damn.
Yeah,
so
that's okay.
it sucks for me. And because she going to get a day on the way there at the dispensary now. So I'm just smoking my ass. I'll wait for the new shit to get here. And but it sucks because this is my favorite shit, and the shit you said was dope. But I'm just too high to fucking respond and shit.
Yeah, that's what's been happening to me because I've been smoking this purple all the time now. So I'm just like, oh shit, this fucking purple shit is just got me fucking paranoid as fuck.
I used to smoke Granddaddy Purple all like for years, man, and like that stuff it's hard to compare.
Yeah, it's strong. Yeah, some strong shit.
Yes, and I'm stone cold sober. Well, maybe not exactly. I have this half and half tea in here, half and half lemon.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
But I want to say on that point you just raised about technology and magic, I do think that they have a key thing, and I think that separates it from worship, because worship you're trying to go beyond nature straight to God, but in magic you're trying to manipulate nature to emulate God. So it's a different sort of
and technology too, though, right? You're
technology a little bit
manipulate
No,
something.
here's the
yeah,
thing.
there's a little bit of that in technology. Yeah.
Here's the thing, TML. I would not, since the way I define magic, religion is synonyms. Worship would also be a form of magic. It's an appeal to God. So if you're just asking God to do something on your behalf.
But if you just ask God directly, in magic, you have to go through something. Yeah, the main thing with magic is you want to get an end result. It's not to get to God. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a form of magic because you're going through God to get something.
Wait, you guys are starting to confuse me.
No. If you go through God to get something, then that's not. I don't think that's essentially what prayer is.
But magic,
prayer is you ask God for something, but you praise God. It's just it's mainly just saying that God's in control of everything, but you're not necessarily mad if you don't get it,
right?
Yeah,
magic is active as opposed to
prayer,
asking a motherfucker. Magic must be active, right?
Yeah, the correct way to pray is to say, God, I hope you give me this thing, but if you don't give me this thing, it's cool anyways because you're God. It's cool.
Yeah, but if it's like that, there's no reason to pray at all.
No. You just understand that God's in control. If you're asking God for something, then that's spiritual materialism.
Yeah, there's a lot of spiritual materialism. But if God was going to just give you the thing and do the thing the way He wanted to do it anyways, then why pray?
Here's one of the things I was trying to point at, and I'm glad you guys had that little part because it reminded me. So, it's kind of like what I tried to make an argument to a lot of these people. I'm not even going to name because I tried to do it with so many people. It's like, I can understand you can say, well, I can still be a Christian or I can still be a whatever and still praise God through my practices with technology or magic or whatever. And people do make that argument. And I say, okay, well, if at what point does your worship take a back seat to your practice? You see what I'm saying?
I do. I know you were going.
Let me answer my own question. The reason why you pray is for you feel good. If prayer makes you feel good, so you're gonna definitely pray it. Or it makes my life more orderly. I'm gonna pray anyways because it benefits myself.
That prayer makes you feel good is a little so and so. Yes, it's true. Prayer make you feel good, but you pray for a bunch of shit, money, a house, and all of that because it makes you feel good.
But the thing is, like, if you want to have a 5-bedroom house and a trophy wife, and you want to have all these things, you're gonna have to do things that are not worshiping God. I mean, you're gonna.
It's probably got to worship the other guy.
First, like the secret just takes the essence of prayer and makes it look like magic.
Yeah,
Because all magic is
I mean,
all the
see,
time.
I don't pray for things. I pray for the best types of things, even if those things are bad for me. You know,
Meaning
it is
what?
what it is.
And give me an example or two. 'Cause
Like I'll say, God, you know, save me from the knowledge that does not benefit. Now that's a prayer,
no,
right?
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
there's lots of knowledge in this world that could be used to destroy yourself, right?
Yeah. But let's assume instead of praying to God, you pray to the flying spaghetti monster. What's the difference?
Well, we went through this with Uncle Fatty. They admit that the thing is made up.
Yes, and you don't. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's not that big of a difference.
Well, and
No, no. Between saying something's real and something's not real, there's a
God
huge
and the
difference.
spaghetti monster.
Yeah, it's not that big of a difference.
No, there's a huge difference. It's like saying, well, you know, I think Mickey Mouse is just as important as, you know, like Bill Clinton. Right?
Yeah, but you already said God was going to do the thing the way he wanted to do it anyway.
It's like saying you think Mickey Mouse is more important than like Walt Disney or just as important.
Yeah,
right?
but
Well,
you said God was going to do things the way he wanted to do them anyways.
Mickey Mouse is.
So what difference does it make to pray to God or pray to any other thing?
But here's the thing.
Wait. I'm not sure he said in a way God's gonna do them anyway. It doesn't mean that you don't get your way, girl. If God is shit, too high. Go ahead.
Yeah, God was going
That
to
was
do
a good
things,
one too, bro.
yeah, God was going to do things the way he wanted to anyways, whether you pray to him or not.
Well, but
And what difference does it make you pray to him or pray to some other idol?
to go back to the whole Mickey Mouse thing, like here's the thing, like Mickey Mouse is in the minds of more people than Walt Disney himself, but you know how you know the egregore took, you know, has more control than the man, and that's kind of what I think that's the whole thing with the whole technology thing is like technology is like an egregore of a bunch of people collectively trying to do something, but the act of creating the technology, you can't put it away. And so then it becomes like something that we are kind of just stuck with, and it takes us away from all the other things we might
burden or something.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. We build it as a crutch and it becomes like debilitating. You know, exactly. Yeah. It takes us away from the things that we would have been doing otherwise. And again, you can make the argument, well, medicine is good because it keeps us alive longer and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but what are we missing out in the, you know, and I think that you could make an argument that perhaps, you know, we could develop technology in an ethical, moral, God-fearing way, but you notice that that's definitely not what's happening, right? Like, I think you could.
So who gets to decide the morality? Who gets to decide what technology is allowed and what's not? Because here's the thing, like when like there's people like the witch trials thing. There are people who said, okay, it's just gonna do their own thing. I'm not in on it. I'll just do my thing. Then the church got pissed and someone decided to not go with the church. So they went ahead and killed the person.
But here's the thing, though. It's like, I mean, I'm not going to defend that instance, but here's the thing is like, there are people who have occultist beliefs and magic practices that use that to control society in a negative direction. I mean, look at the stuff surrounding the atomic weapon development, right? You know, they were obviously doing that for something other than the benefit of mankind. Let's just put it that way.
But it's still the question still stands. Who gets to decide and who gets to enforce the rules?
Who gets to decide morality? Because some idiot's gonna say we did it for the betterment of mankind.
Yeah, exactly. Even though you can probably analyze the statistics and say, hey, well, this wasn't that good.
Right. But
the response is, well, I have the truth. Don't confuse me with the facts. We're gonna do it this way because I said God said so.
It's probably going to go along the length of we saved more lives than would have died. Fantasy shit, right? Like a police who pulls you over and for your safety arrest you or give you a ticket to keep me safe. But we know you hurt me. Theoretically, you may have kept me safe, but you know you hurt me.
Exactly.
Well, I think machine has a good measurement for this stuff. Like I like to say, like, I'm not like a radical environmentalist, but one thing I recognize is, like, if it weren't for gasoline, the world would not be so interconnected, even with, you know, computer systems and stuff like that. Like, things would just be way slower, and people would be forced to kind of like take measure of what it is that they're doing, because they're kind of like moving at a slower pace, right? And I think that that's kind of a good.
Where you're
Are
wrong.
you saying that's a good thing?
That's where
or
you're
bad
wrong.
thing?
Even though things be at a slower pace, it doesn't mean people would have to pay attention.
I agree.
Well, they would pay a more direct price for what it is that they're doing. I would argue.
That's plausible.
Yeah,
but they have less resources to pay for things at
yes, correct.
Yeah, so they have less resources to pay for things in general, so they'll just be poor.
Right. Well, like, and here's what I'd say. Like, the most dangerous technology on the planet is language, in my opinion. But without gasoline and gunpowder and stuff like this, there's going to be inherent firewalls to language, because then it's going to take time for things to change. It's going to take, people are going to have time to adjust. But with all this, the way things are now, like,
I like it.
We're going at such a pace that there's no time to mount a defense.
I like it.
There is a time to mount the defense. This is part of the defense. But you do have a very biblical worldview that says knowledge is bad. But
I don't think knowledge is bad. I just think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But he might have been saying that if given enough time to digest, it's not horrible. That might have been part of his argument.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I mean is, like, like, look at like this. Like, you can go anywhere in the world right now, and most of the women are basically kind of got a similar attitude about things. I mean, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you're not going to really be able to, have a normal traditional lifestyle with a man and a woman pretty much anywhere in the world right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, let me give it to you this way, Noel Jack. There's people some which you're friends with, that says I shouldn't be on any panel whatsoever because my ideas are too scary. And they say they have the truth. And you just believe them, even though they don't have any evidence. They don't have any facts.
Sure. Well, and I can understand from their perspective, they may see it that way. And for me, I see it as...
What the fuck scary idea he's had? How can you see that? I haven't heard of a scary idea.
Well, I guess what it is like, if you think that people are going to adopt Hank's ideology and integrate it into their life, yeah, I mean, that would be dangerous. But I think the truth is people already do, and they're just not aware. So
that's dope. Maybe I don't know Hank's ideology or something as well. Maybe I'm missing something, but your point still stands.
It's pretty much Hegelian. That's the most common hook on that. That pretty much, like we said earlier, that it's not the so-called truth that determines policy and what gets enforced. Is just power. So
yeah, exactly.
Power comes first,
Yeah,
then so-called.
That's radical to some motherfuckers. That's radical. It seems.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, basically, this is what I was saying about knowledge is dangerous, right? Like, that people already accept basically might makes right. They just don't they're just not fully aware of that. And I think the question is, like, if they become aware of it, they're going to choose one of two paths. They're either going to double down and say, well, or they're going to be like me and say, this is a dangerous path to go down, because if everybody's like me, there's not going to be anything left.
So, yes, but here's the thing: you with your worldview, you already assert might makes right, but you also assert that the might's on your side because you have God that's almighty, therefore he's already in the first place. So everyone's going to align themselves with God, or will be destroyed by God.
No. In fact, he even giving you these weapons and this power position, proving that that God is on your side. He's look. The only reason I have authority over you is because God makes it like this. He wants the good people in charge.
Yeah.
That's why it's just fucking
Well,
twisted.
I disagree with that personally, but a lot of Christians do actually believe that. For me, I look at it in a different way. I look at it the way, I mean, and I will catch shit for this, but just me personally, like I look at Jesus and I say, okay, what did Jesus say? He basically is saying, you know, in other words, the pen is mightier than the sword, and he didn't even use a pen. He was using parables, and
Yeah,
I think that, you know, and I think that that's kind of where I'm coming at it from. Like, basically, I think most people want to be good, but most people are also like human beings.
and
Be
you're,
manipulated.
Jack, you're saying the parable will unlock that, right? That most people want to do good, but and you have to put it in their face so they make a decision, one of the two paths. And you're saying the way to put it in their face is the
Yeah,
parable.
right. And the thing is this, like, you know, it's very easy, and I think this comes down to a big part of Hank's belief system that's very upsetting to people. Is like, it comes down to culpability, right? Like, if you want human beings to be culpable, you got to give them culpability. And the problem is, I think both sides are trying to keep people in a haze where there's no
That's the whole.
culpability. You know what I'm saying? And
That it's smart, right? It's smart. Don't nobody want to face guilt or no shit like that. It's smart.
Yeah. But
yeah, and I think that if you look back in history and you see the way that most people conducted battle, like soldiers respected each other because they both kind of knew, like, they're there to do a job and they're not really culpable for what they're doing, right? Like, you know, they didn't really have a choice whether or not to show up. They were just there because that's just what happened,
That
right? Like,
sounds so insane to me, bro. That sounds so insane. But yes, that mass hallucination shit is real. It don't make it right.
yeah, but can we be honest about what I'm culpable for? I mean, I'm not culpable for my skin color. I had no control over it. Yet there's some truthers that say, well, no, you chose this before you were born. And this, when? And they just, when I ask them when, they just tell me they just know. And I just, we're at an impasse. You know, culpable stuff thing I don't think I have control over, but they know the truth and they tell me I am culpable for something I don't have control over, and I have responsibility to deal with my choice, which I didn't make.
no, I know, and I think that that's, you know, a dubious grounding that a lot of people are walking on, and that's kind of what I'm trying to say to them is like, you know, you can walk on, you know, you can walk on boggy land for a while, but eventually you're probably going to fall. You're going to slip through the pit and not come back up for a few thousand years. You know what I mean? So that's kind
Yeah,
of what I tell people is like, you know, it's a very slippery slope, and that's the whole thing with like this whole like Inquisition idea with Christians. Like, they think that they're going to be the arbiters of who's evil and bad, and like, you can make an argument for it. And I think that, like, you know, I'm sure I would love to hear Machine Lies, you know, opinion on this kind of stuff. But like, you know, I don't think that you're going to go and like, let's say that you knew that this group of people were quote unquote evil for whatever reason. Like, I think at the same time, it's like, you know, being the arbiter of good and bad is not something that you should, you know, oh, I'm just going to gleefully slaughter the enemies of my God. It's like, no, like, they're human beings and they've been corrupted. It's not something you take joy and pleasure in, even if you were to take that position, right? And I think that this is kind of a mistake, because I don't think that God ever said, you know, go and slaughter your enemies with joy. I think what he said is, you know, it's a very
well, you can interpret the Bible to say that though. There's enough of that balance dictating the Bible that you could easily construe that argument. And I'm warning those people that they probably should try to resolve this in the intellectual space, because if you try to take it to the physical space, I know for certain they're gonna lose, and it's gonna cost all of us way more.
See, actually, I think that that's a very good point, and I think that my project is very similar to yours in that regard. Like, I don't think people are really understanding what is going on. Like, you know, I think like, I'll just take European history for example. because I know the most about it. I don't think God was jumping for joy when Europeans were, slaughtering each other for 2 or 3,000 years. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he was like, oh, good, these guys are doing my work for me. I mean,
Yes.
I don't think that's the case personally,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think that's a good representation of what God put us here on earth to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Here's the issue. That's why I'm gonna present the thing again. Where is it? 20 model. Yeah. Yeah. Here's the issue. That's why I separate the egregore from the Eldritch Abomination, because only the egregore will have feelings like that. The Eldritch Abomination, well, pretty much anything that did happen happens at the consent of the Eldritch Abomination, because otherwise it just wouldn't happen.
So what are you saying? You're saying that the slaughter was allowed by God, so therefore it's okay, or?
Yeah. Yes, but I'm saying what you say is God is not the omniscient, omnipotent one.
What? Because you think that the omniscient, omnipotent one is chaos, right?
Yeah, the Eldritch Abomination, which I may refer to as chaos sometimes.
What does that mean, Eldritch?
It's a reference to the Cthulhu mythos. Pretty much, I'm proposing an entity that's so powerful that we wouldn't understand it, and that's why there's no ability barrier there.
Well, technically, a lot of Christianity, from my understanding, is like they do the negative comprehension of God, saying, well, God can't be hate, so he must be love. He can't be evil, so he must be good. And so it's kind of like I don't know if I'm probably misusing the term, but
It's not logical, but
it's like deductive.
Like something they say.
They're deducing what God is rather than, whatever the other version of it is, I guess.
Yeah.
But
that would be the Eldritch Abomination, not the. But they're talking about the egregore, not the Eldritch Abomination, because we really can't deduce things about the Eldritch Abomination because we already assumed that's omnipotent and omniscient. Then we don't have any power to compute
right.
what the thing is.
Well, and like in Egyptian mythology, that would be like Ptah or something, right? And then I think in Sumerian, I can't remember what it would be, but they have a concept like that in most religions, from my comprehension, right? Like, yeah,
but you had to separate the entity that works in the world from the entity that holds the world up, because if we try to combine them, our model doesn't make sense. We lose all explanatory power.
I still ain't caught up the conversation yet. I got knocked off.
Because the agent that has opinions and thoughts and would inadvertently have a power to decide what happens and what doesn't happen, and therefore things that it doesn't like simply wouldn't happen. Period.
Well, I would love to get Joe or Machine's wise, because I have some thoughts, but I don't want to.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just heard the ass end of it, and I haven't caught up yet. So
well, basically, we were talking about how a lot of people think that you're going to take the spiritual conflict into the physical realm, and it's going to be good for people. And I think me and Hank basically agree that taking it into the war of ideas is going to be a much better solution for everybody, if possible. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because if we take it physically, we know from January 6th that they can't possibly win because they're not organized. They're not using the universe to its fullest potential. So they'll just lose.
Well,
now, go ahead.
Worse than that, I think that they're actually falling into a trap that's already been set for them. But I mean, yeah.
Well, they're building their own trap. All they need to do is spring it on themselves.
Oh yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is, at the very least, either it's been set up, initiated by their enemies, or at the very least, it's been allowed to happen.
No, they're setting up themselves. I mean, that's why yesterday on the Machine Logic stream, I called it said in the chat, circular firing squad, because they set their own trap and now they're springing on themselves.
I don't know that you two are saying two different things. I'm thinking. I think it's just your definition of themselves is the only thing.
Well, I guess what he's saying is he's thinking that the conspiracy right-wing people are doing it to themselves with like the J6, for example. But I think that what I would say is like, the ability to mind control people is very advanced, and it's not even that you don't need like some super secret computer system to do it. It's like with basic language techniques,
words, yes.
With the court system, it's not very difficult. Like,
yeah, watch Joe Cool and watch Paul. They'll show you how to do it. But when they tell you, they were just not believed. They just not believe when they tell you exactly how it works. Then like when Officer Snaps talks to Paul, he doesn't believe half the thing Paul says.
I don't know their relationship enough, but
yeah,
I would assume that a lot of what Snafu is just out of rebellion.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know if he even understand half the concepts he's rebelling against.
Yeah, I mean, I could, like when I talk to him, I could tell him exactly what my motive is while I'm there, and after I'm finished, he'll ask the same question again. Because he didn't understand the answer.
Yeah, right. Or he had his own preconceived notion.
Yeah, he had his own preconceived notion, which I didn't fall into.
Yes.
So then ultimately he doesn't understand the answer because it wasn't the one he wanted, or it wasn't the one he expected.
Yes, far from what he would have expected, identified, thought of.
Yeah, but eventually, hopefully, to talk to him in long form, so I can work so enough that I can get him to understand where I'm coming from.
You think that's a thing? Getting in a room, just you and Snafu, where communication is feasible?
It's worth a try.
It is. But do you think there's a chance of it working? At least the first 6 times, I'm guessing. I put money that y'all stumble and fall.
It's probably a good bet, but I'm dumb enough to try it.
I did. Hey, does that mean that you're a fan of God because you're dumb enough to try stupid shit like that?
I tried him. And he
no. Does that mean that you're a fan of God? Is what I said.
Yeah. Well, but it depends what you mean by God. So Yahweh, I tried him. He doesn't like me.
I don't know. You believe in God, religion, Christian? I don't know nothing about you.
Yeah, I believe I'm a polytheist. I believe in a bunch of gods.
Okay.
Incel 2, flash your camera on. I don't know who you are.
All right. Incel, it must be Flow State. I'm joking. They'll put a porn bomber up here.
Probably is a porn bomber, but until he flashes his camera, I'm not going to pull him up here.
I didn't check my name. We always change my name in some room. Okay, still Joe Cool. Flow room. I walk into places. Last time I was Black Santa Claus. One time I was Sweet Cheeks.
Well, Joe, let me ask you this. Like, like I've always been a fan of like the Black Panthers, right? Like, I think that their general idea was like genius, in my opinion. Like,
I was looking at something about that today. Fred Hampton or some COINTEL. That's what I went down a rabbit hole about, COINTELPRO, and that's where it led me today. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, interesting. Well, can you mention a little bit about that just for reference?
Yes, COINTELPRO was a government op, and it was made to bring down a certain group of people. It started off as just bringing down black rationals, but then it progressed to moving down different groups that they didn't like. And some of the ways that they did it, they would hire, well, they ain't really hiring. You find motherfuckers who had really shitty jail records and a lot of charges, and you tell them they will all disappear if you infiltrate the Black Panthers. Again, started with the Black Panthers, but it went on to a bunch of other different organizations. And the way they would do it, I mean, they did shitty things like poison your shit, right? That night when they got raided, They gave him barbitriptol or whatever the fuck that shit's called. So he'd be asleep. And when they came in at 4:30 in the morning, blah blah. But that's the type of tactics that was a COINTELPRO operation.
Hey, Incel dude, I want to hear your voice.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me.
Sound like a foreigner or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Can
don't
you
know.
hear me?
A little bit. Can you turn your volume up for me? I'm not good at
Okay.
the StreamYard.
So, I'm an involuntary celibate.
Well, where'd you hear about this channel from?
Well, I just search in YouTube for live and
He's not gonna
talk,
do anything to me.
and I just came here. I need to talk.
All right.
Okay. But he's not gonna do anything to me. What you need to do is if you have a
Yes.
job, get $100. Then you need to search the web for I guess women of the night, and then get your problem solved. It's very simple.
No. That kind of things, it is a waste of time. It is also a waste of morals.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you're voluntary celibate.
No, I'm involuntary.
I
I just can't get led, you know.
Well, why do
you
you?
have $100.
Well, if it's against your morals to break your code to get it, then why do you identify yourself
Yeah.
as that?
Even I pay like $100, I'm still an involuntary celibate. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Like
but why do you
paying
yourself as
does
that?
How
not.
are you celibate after you knock somebody off? How are you still celibate? You're still involuntary. I don't get it.
No, I'm involuntary. I'm just involuntary. Even if you
But
pay, you still an incel. Even if
All
you
right. I
pay.
think that's what you're trying to
but
say.
everyone pays. They pay with their looks. They pay with their wealth. They
You might be
pay with
right,
favors.
bro.
Everyone
You
pays.
might be right.
So if we assume your model, there's no everyone's an incel.
Very good.
No,
You're
no,
free,
no,
bro.
no,
Go
no.
fuck
I'm sorry,
You're free.
but $100 for 1 hour, 1 hour of getting led is nothing. You need like 1 week to get led. You know,
Well, I
1
can
week.
tell you one way you won't get laid is if you go around telling people that you're involuntarily celibate. I can pretty much say that.
Well, there's no guarantee. So
He's right, bro. He's
there's no
right.
guarantee. It's just you just have run into someone that picks you, and it's that simple. And having $100, it makes the list much longer.
And I think you're a troll, but I'll tell you, an incel, all that is a coward. No disrespect if you really are, but any guy who goes out and hollers at 10 women, 2 of them are sluts, and you're going to fuck them. There's no such thing as an involuntary incel. You must be a coward, in my opinion.
No. I'm sorry. It's all about looks. It's all about ethnicity.
Anybody can
It's all
get
about
laid.
height.
No,
It's all
not.
about height.
No.
You know, it is
I
the
think
black.
so.
Have you heard the black people?
On the planet with some of the hottest women ever. So that's not. That's
Yeah,
bullshit.
me too. But even if we assume that there's women who don't care or want something else. So there's a path to getting laid.
Yes,
but you just don't
always
wanna
just
take
try
it.
the odds. You ain't tried enough chicks, man. You need to be
Yeah.
hollering at 20 pictures a night if you're that ugly and short. Right? If you're not as ugly and short as you claim, then
Well, the
shit.
ugly and the short, they are the worst because they will reject.
Every
what
ugly
is
short
manly
man I
man,
know gets
you know?
laid.
Well,
Every ugly short man I know gets laid.
well, okay, yeah, exactly. And here's the thing: like, here's the thing. Okay, so you're saying, say that last part again, Mr. Incel. Say that last part.
Mr.
Well, even the short woman, even the most ugly woman, they will
Right.
reject
Yeah. Okay.
less
You know
value
why?
men because
Yeah.
they want shads.
Right.
But
Do you know why?
They
that's
want shads.
Do you know
That's
why?
just a pattern. That's
You know
just a
why-
pattern. You didn't talk to every woman yet.
You know
And
why-
there's
Yeah.
women that we know will probably lay you if you trade them something.
Do you know why they reject? I'll tell you exactly why they reject. You want to know why?
Yes.
Very simple reason.
Yes.
Because they can. If you had 100 women knocking on your door every day, you'd have to say no to some.
Yeah.
So, right. So you would. So that's the whole point. So it's always been that way. So if you want to get with one woman, you got to talk to 10, 20, 100, 500, 1,000.
It is that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Literally.
We have women nowadays with the dating apps. It is the Disneyland because they can get the value man.
I
They can
agree, but
get
it doesn't
the
change
chance.
what we're saying.
They-
All
they
these
cap
things
it.
are true. Women can pick more people now. The internet exists. Doesn't mean that if you go out there and hard enough women, you can't come up on some pussy. You'll stumble on it. It's that fucking easy. You clearly
No.
haven't fucking tried.
Yeah.
The
And if you don't want to
rejections
do
are
it that way,
brutal.
just
The
go
rejections are
search
brutal.
the personnels with
The
$100
rejection is
and you'll find
brutal.
someone.
Is that what you said?
Yes,
You're in the wrong room.
rejections
Suck
are
fast,
brutal
nigga.
nowadays for men.
Have you tried men?
Yeah. Grinder is
But
very
why?
cost effective.
Because
You
you
can
don't
get
like
Grindr for free,
rejection. It's
you
so
have someone
horrible.
get suck
No,
your dick, and then you'll feel good. Just
let
get
me
your
tell you
pictures, get
something.
get
Nowadays,
Grindr.
society.
I don't
Nowadays,
care
Why
what
do you
you
care
say.
about
You just need one
society?
person
Why
men.
do
to say
why do you
yes.
care about society? You're not going to have any kids, so who cares about society?
Yeah, you don't
I'm
need
sorry. Society is telling now for
screw
us incels,
society. All you need is a person
for
to get
us
you off.
less value men as well transmaxing. Do
You
you
just
know
need-
what is transmaxing?
Yes, it's
Transmaxing.
transitioning so you can get laid. It's not. It's kind of a wasted effort. You
Yes,
just don't
yes.
need to do that.
Society is kidding with us. Is kidding with us. Is treating us like children.
It's not
This
tricking.
is
It's not
what
fooling me.
society is doing.
Okay, but why?
You're gonna get no sympathy here, bro. Really, you're gonna get trolled endlessly. I'm just letting you
Wh-
know, man.
why
This
do
is
you care-
entertainment to us?
Yeah, if society is bad, why do you care about society? First of all, and second of all, if you're not going to have any kids, why do you care about society? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
It is because of my testosterone. It is my
In-
testosterone.
Well, you can get
That's-
castrated, or you can fuck a dude, or I mean, there's other things you can do.
Yeah, you can go on Grindr, screw a dude. You can get $100, checking the personals.
If it's
I-
just
I- I'm just-
testosterone,
You can talk to more. You can
It is
go over a
testosterone
volume
that
strategy
binds
and find
me
more
to
people
women,
to get
you
one
know?
who will say yes to you.
Unfortunately,
whether
But
it's
it is the
testosterone or
testosterone.
not, he said it's something that binds him to women. Okay, I'm gonna go off of that part of it.
Yeah.
You
It is
Well,
because
So
of my
he wants
biology.
the results, but he doesn't want to put
Unfortunately,
the effort in, which
Yeah.
I can understand. But you just won't get the results.
Are
still.
you saying this without saying it that you know you could get some pussy, but it wouldn't be a relationship? Is that what you're saying?
well,
As long as pause
get
answer
that-
my question, motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
I'm
but to
sorry. I'm
get
sorry. My
that-
dick sometimes.
To get laid, now 1 hour is not enough. You need 1 week of full pleasure.
How would you
I'm
know
I'm not
that
sure.
if you haven't tried it?
Hold on, Hank. Are you saying what were you saying? The relationship? I'm not sure you answered my question. Are you saying you need a relationship out of this woman or more pleasure?
I need both. I need
you-
relationship and I
Well,
need
you
pleasure.
need
Yeah.
you know?
He gets it.
I need both.
question. How are you going to get it? How are you going to get it? How you
I
gonna get
try everything. I tried Lux Max.
it? Have you
I
tried
tried
$7 for 1 week?
Have you tried
how
Grindr?
much?
Yeah, he said a week will do him. So he's not after a relationship. You're just talking circles, bro. He's
Yeah,
just going
exactly.
back and forth.
It is immoral praying. It is immoral.
Yes. So
It is
But you
against
just
So
said
here's
a
the
week
reality,
you
you
do
know?
it though.
Is
For a
it-
week you do
Is
it.
it
So
moral? But hold on. Is it moral to deny yourself the opportunity to find a woman?
what paying by paying?
No, by
I'm sorry.
asking
I'm sorry.
1,000
I'm
women to
sorry.
go out with you.
I tried everything.
To ask
no,
them
you
out.
didn't.
you
you
have
asked
not tried to go out numbers thing we're
Yes.
talking about clearly.
Yeah,
Yes.
you haven't
Like-
tried the personals.
Like
In
if
fact,
I
you
if I
told us
told
you
you how
can't
many
go
women
for it.
I talked to before I got laid and after I got laid, I mean, dude, it's people would not believe how many women I talked to. I
And
talked
it's the skill, right? The more you get a couple of them, you learn and you can narrow what the shit you got to say and do, and then you just start falling in the pussy, man.
Yes, and in Solitude, when I told you you can go look up the personals for $100, you said no, you don't want to do it. So you didn't try everything.
Yeah, failure is the best teacher with women, man. I'll tell you that from personal.
Yeah. So you haven't tried everything. You refuse to do one thing because you're making a bunch of assumptions, but you haven't tested out for yourself. You said you need a week to get off, and you don't know that yet. So get somewhere, then tell me if you need more time after you got somewhere.
Yeah, and your excuse
One hour,
that the
1 hour is not
anxiety
enough.
of rejection.
I'm sorry.
How do you
is
know
not
that?
enough.
How do you know that?
I'm sorry, but it is. You know,
No, you don't
it
know
is.
that. You just tell me. You just
So
tell me.
why are
It's
you-
a
why are
truth,
you-
But you have no evidence. You have no facts. You have
know,
no evidence. So
why are you-
I need
I'm
you.
sorry,
You need
but
to
the
get your dick wet
fantasies,
and tell me later.
the male fantasies for women,
Your
it is
your
so big
your,
that
It's
your
so big.
1 hour is not
your
enough.
homework is to get your dick wet and tell me if you need more time afterwards.
Yeah, I mean they got porn that can help you with that, or just to look at the clouds and imagine long enough, and you'll get satisfied.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but pornography, that is an invention of the Kyle. You know who are the Kyles?
Yeah,
What's good,
Jason,
Hank?
right on
South
time.
Park.
Maybe you can
What's up,
interpret
Hank?
this nonsense.
What's good? What's
I'm
good? What's
I'm
good?
sorry, but have you
Jason, I
heard
think you might like.
No, it's cool.
have you
maybe
saw
not.
the South
No,
Park?
Hank.
Have you saw
Hey,
that?
Jason. So you say you need a week in Solitude,
Yeah, can you
but you
mute
haven't
Jason?
tried it for even a minute yet. So until you get for a
He's
minute,
gone.
you can't be sure you need it for a week. So what you need to do is get $100, go look up the personals, find someone who will give you some access, then you can tell me if you had enough time or not.
I'm sorry,
But after you do that, you would lose your incel. You have to lose your incel just in the process of doing that.
You're still an incel. Even if you pay, you're still an incel.
Did you pay and try for yourself?
Well, how old are you?
I'm an
Joe,
old
that was
cell.
my fault earlier, brother. I got that shit fixed.
That's
I'm
In Solitude, you didn't pay and try for yourself. So how would you know you're still an incel?
How old are you, Mr. Russian?
I am I'm near 50.
How old?
Near 50. 50 years old.
This nigga trolling, but it's fun.
Yeah.
What country are you from?
I'm Europe.
Beirut?
What country?
I don't want to say because I don't want to be doxxed. But I'm from Europe.
The country is doxing? Wow.
Oh my, it's ridiculous.
The whole country is doxing? Wow, damn. Yes, they are sensitive.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't,
like me,
I don't want to be doxxed. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll help you. I'll help you protect your identity.
I'm from
Let me do
Kazakhstan,
this.
for example. I'm from Kazakhstan.
I'm going to remove you from the stage. You can watch in the back. I'm protecting your identity. Your homework is to find some way to get access. We told you how.
That's funny. I'm protecting your identity.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very sweet of you, Hank. That's very sweet of you.
We gotta keep our secret agents protected.
Yes, you're reading my mind.
From public scrutiny. So I'm helping him.
Wow, Hank, I think you me in the record for like the least amount of stream time. Got your first like agent. That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah, and I ran through his script, and now we don't have to wonder about it.
All right.
Yes, he looped enough and came back to the same shit in Dead Ends where we heard everything we needed to hear. So I'm with you on that shit.
Exactly. That's how I do. That's how I roll. I want to get the whole script route. He went ahead and looped to the end twice.
Get it all
there's no
up there,
new
yeah.
branches. So we no more need to be curious. We told him, in fact we educated other people how if they had the same issue, what they should solve. So we're about solving problems here.
Educated, yes.
We about solving problems over here.
That's why you gotta be educated.
That's funny.
What's up, Hank?
Alright.
Hey,
So,
Jason, I actually haven't met you. Joe, have you met
Oh.
Jason?
yeah, Jason's a good friend of mine.
Not- Fuck
he
you.
said
No, I
that.
never met this Joe guy. I don't know. He looks like a fucking pothead to me. He's
I
always
said
stoned.
to him,
I've seen him.
hey,
I've seen him 2 or 3 times. He's always fucking stoned. That's all I gotta say about that motherfucker. Fucking stoned.
Jason's he's a Canadian, and I usually call it the mythical land of Canada, but he's a Canadian. I was just in his room, and I had an ugly reverb over there. He was playing Sudoku over there. Him and his chick I know play Sudoku, and and when he told me he got the reverb fixed, I was like already hopped in another room, blah blah blah. And that's how he got here. I sent him a link. But in order, I got to get this out. In order for the agent not to be successful, we must at least go back to the conversation for 2 seconds or something and go back to something productive, and then I'll be happy, and then we can move on to any nonsense bullshit. But I can't let if someone be successful like that.
Yeah, what were we talking about before? I remembered and I forgot just.
Oh, it's simple. I was telling you that the egregore and the Eldritch Abomination were 2 separate things. Otherwise, things, the egregore's opinions would just be the thing that happens in the universe.
That must have been a conversation between you two personally. That was not what we were just talking about, because now I'd have to know what the Elder Gore or so and so is.
Let me present the screen again. You probably forgot.
I remember the screen and I know the words were up there, but I wasn't familiar with the references. Some of them you had like some I did know, and then under the bottom you had the so and so, like Christian so and so. I don't know. I guess we'll say.
Yeah, let me.
Eldritch something. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I know. Let me represent the screen. Okay, there it is again. So the God, so if the Holy Spirit's opinions, yeah, Holy Spirit has opinions, but if the Holy Spirit also had the power of just existence, maintaining existence, any opinions it would want to enforce would just be what exists in the universe.
All right, say it one more time because we're not getting it.
So yeah, the Holy Spirit has opinions, but if it was omnipotent and omniscient, its opinions would just be the state of the universe itself.
Okay, all right, continue. That's all I need to know, and I can keep up. What about the God, the Father, Eldritch Abomination? What is that?
Yeah, it's the universe pretty much.
Okay.
It's the
according
thing where
to-
everything.
I'm trying.
I think I'm sort of. I think I'm just getting it because I guess I should have asked earlier.
Yeah.
Well, he says that God, the God of chaos, like God is chaos, and then everything else is, something else essentially.
Yeah, everything else is something else.
I don't know that what we meant. I'm lost again. God is chaos, but everything else is something else. Let me try to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
I don't understand what that means. God is chaos, but everything else. What is something else? What is everything else if not chaos?
Or everything else is order, but God is like
No,
chaos.
I don't use order. Well, order and disorder exists on top of chaos. And so
you're saying that God is numbers?
no,
Circumstance? I don't understand what you're saying.
no. How do I explain it? So pretty much, so like the Ruliad, the monad, that's God. That God is just the object where.
I'm sorry, but I don't know.
That's the
what
object where the multiverse happens. That's the object
Okay.
that we
Okay.
interpret
All right, that is
where
God.
the multiverse happens.
All right, and everything else is something other than that plateau.
Well, or we interpret it as something other than the object itself. We kind of have a dialectic.
All right, I'm gonna smoke some more because I can't keep up. What would you say?
You smoke less.
Maybe there's a wall you can break through, and then you can be reasonable and understand shit again.
Yeah.
I'm testing that theory.
Yeah, let's try that.
Good luck.
But it's a dialectical interpretation. So everything is. We'll just call it the universe for now. We'll call it the universe for now to make it simple. And then everything else we separate from the one.
Can you take that down for a second?
Yes.
Maybe I can Hopefully better.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Thank fuck for that. Respect, bro.
Yeah. So you will have the universe, which
Oh,
every
better yet, fucking Neurojack, can you give me your version of what Hank is saying?
Yeah, sorry, I was on a different screen. I think, I mean, I'm not exactly sure either because I'm trying to comprehend this stuff too. But let me try to say it like this. I think what he's saying is you have like God who is like everything came from nothing, which is chaos, and then from that point forward, you can't really know God because it's kind of like pre what is knowable. You see what I'm saying? Like basically look at it like the Big Bang, like.
I go for that.
The Big
I go
Bang
for that.
is like a different version of what he's saying. Like you have like chaos that's the beginning point, and then everything after that is kind of like order.
Scrambled. By the time you see it, it's so scrambled up you can't really figure it out.
Right. And so basically what it is, like if everything comes from God, you can't ever like really know what God is because God can do anything. He is everything. He is whatever.
See, Hank, why didn't you say that? I totally understand.
Am I wrong about that, Hank, or is that a fair description for you?
I think that's close enough. If Joe Cool understands it, that's a good spot to work from. Joe Cool, could you understand Neurojack's interpretation?
I totally understood his interpretation. It seemed logical, wise. You know, I'd argue for it already, so you guys can continue. If that is his interpretation is correct to your shit, I should be in on the conversation.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Right.
So I'm just saying that the Holy Spirit is not the universe because if it was, its opinions would just be the state of the universe.
All right, I understand that.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'm cool. That guy, the disruptor, was not successful because I just, that was pretty good shit. We could talk about anything. We could talk about how Jason said he was out with that hot chick last night.
Yeah.
She bought some boots, man. She racked up my credit card. You fucking racked up my credit card?
That's the original price of them. Look what I got them for. What?
Oh, I got boots too. I got Tim's.
Hey, this is crazy. I just got some boots too.
Oh shit. Me too. My fucking work boots, man. Oh shit. Is that boot time? It's boot time.
Yes,
vibe.
It is boot time because they're all on clearance.
I wore them once. I just got them.
Like the ones you got?
Yes.
That's funny.
Mama's good with her boots.
That's
Mama good with your boots?
Well, yeah. The last boots I had, I walked my foot clear through them, so I needed new ones.
Hey, do you know that guy? That one I'm pointing at? Do you know him?
with the hat on.
Of course I do.
Just fuck yourself, let me do. Fuck you. Piece of shit.
Do you know Hank? Who Hank is?
Right. Do you know the hell dude?
Do you know Hank?
I've heard of Hank, but I've never met Hank. Hi, Hank.
That's it.
Hey,
She's lying.
no,
First
I
time
want
here.
to know what they told you. Tell us what.
Right. What'd you hear about Hank?
Yeah, what'd you hear? Yeah, tell me about
I just hear everything through the floor. I don't actually know anything. I just hear.
Okay. So she's basically saying I'm fucking nefarious on the YouTube streets, and this is the first time that I've met Hank.
Oh,
You
she
don't
said
know
you
Hank.
so fucking loud that you
Okay,
can
well,
hear you
I
through the
always
floor.
hear the name Hank, so
It'd be someone different then,
could be somebody different.
obviously. It's the first time I've been here.
It's probably what he'd probably be saying crank. You know, he's a crank addict and he's always calling for crank at all weird times of the night. That's probably what you're hearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Damn it, Joe, more crank. And you're probably hearing that.
But Jason, have you heard about me at all?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just met you right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
told you the story, bro.
I don't listen to stories. They're just first time here. Respect.
Yeah. Well, I've been other places, but I never ran into you.
And Jason would be like, been around damn near as long as I have. And he's
Come on
been
now,
at the
I'm
Battle
new here.
War.
No, 2007 shit.
So I've been around for a long time and just haven't I don't stream a lot. So I mean, I've been around like when what's it called?
Hey, Mom.
Around doing the drunken peasants and the non sequitur store. So I've been around and just haven't been on the panel for a while.
I gave somebody else
recently be super active as part of a project to figure out how to interact with people better.
Really?
Yeah.
You're here as a project?
Yeah, I'm training myself to interact with people better.
All right. My next question is
project we call mind control.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, they were called mind control. But I just try to improve my interaction skills because I don't want to agree to manage people before I know how they're gonna react. Because I'm responsible.
Was that an experiment, bro?
No, this is fact, man. Read it.
Yes, keep your friends close and your beer closer. Wise words.
That's right. That's right.
Fuck. Those are way too fucking. You ran Neurojack off, Jason.
No, Jack comes and goes as he pleases.
He don't like white people. It was Jason. Sure. I gave Kat the link. Hank, I gave somebody else a link. Check Kat. Jason knows who she is. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man.
The Sudoku player who I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. She did. Yeah.
She's good peeps, man.
Yes, she is.
I don't know. Good logic, good philosophy, and all of that. All right, let me think.
And you know what? I tested those waters. I tested them.
You banged Kat?
She's an angel. She's a fucking angel.
Oh.
Yeah, I fucking banged her. I fucking fucked with her for a shit and see how she thought. She's an angel. She knows it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Joe Cool likes my tyranny better than he likes Josh Talcott's tyranny.
Yeah, so far this shit works. I dig it, bro, because I'm always watching people to see what they do when the vibe changes or whatever, and people do different things. Some people let it flow and they let a bunch of shit on the panel and it works for them. Some people are very stern and strict. Some people, everybody got a way that they do shit. And I judge people by the way they do shit. And the way you ran your pedal so far, and the one guy who came in who would have changed energy, I thought that would have been a good test for anyone. In my opinion, most people would have entertained it too long. So the one test that you had, I thought you did good. So I'd be impressed with the fucking room so far. The intelligent conversation was great, right? So far, this is my first time here. I think, yeah, fascinating, incredible. Then this drunk guy walks in, man, and just fucking Neurojack leaves, machine lines, cut his computer, machine lines, cut his computer.
You're walking a thin line, boy.
Well, yeah, people tell me that I should be banned from each and every panel.
Where is this? I don't see that. Why? What the hell are you talking about? What the hell? You're on every panel I've seen. No one's ever given you shit. Shit.
So on Machine Lights Discord, no, just yesterday's the Machine Lights show. Rant said that. Rant says I should be banned from all the panels. And
why he say that? Do you know?
Whoa! Rewind. Help me out. Both. What is Discord?
Discord. That's an application that you can talk to people in, but you don't have to worry about that because
he's been here for years.
On the Machine Lies yesterday, Rand said
that. Joe, I smack you.
He's been here for years.
So on the Machine live stream yesterday, Rand said I just shouldn't be on any panels, so we don't even have to talk about the Discord.
Why do you think Rand said that? Do you think?
Well, the reason I think he said that is because he can't he can't defeat me in an argument. So his next
That's
best
too
option
funny.
is the nuclear option, because he has clips of him getting Flow State and Jack Talcott. He can't make a clip of me because I knew his game better than he did.
So he don't want you to be on any panel because you know his game better than he does. Can you elaborate?
Yes, I know his game better than he does, and it annoys him. And so instead of training like I'm doing, he would rather just pull
That's
the
too
plug on
vague,
me.
though. You can't just tell me that he's going around saying that he shouldn't be on any one panels because he'll be tested. They'll ask why, and he can't say something simple as he annoys me. That doesn't hold. It must be more.
Yeah, because I mean, Z tried to do that with Paul, and literally the next day he ended up having to talk upon OTW. Just for
Z
his-
had a reason for his annoyance. Paul was coming after him every day.
Yes, but what Z didn't say is that he came after Paul first and went even deeper into that stuff. So yeah, what he didn't say. Yeah, so he left out an important detail.
Yeah.
So that's why he ended up got dragged back in after resolve it, and now they're on good terms at the moment.
Yeah.
Respect, Hank.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So
why is
unfortunately for Rant, until he puts his big boy britches on and faces me, if anyone has any issues, all you need to do is summon me, and he'll and just.
If I, as
Call me
Rant, tell me about Hank, what would he say?
Yeah, Rant would say Blackgate Witch, Subversion, Illuminati, good Christians, good and natural.
Okay,
can't talk
all
to
right.
him.
No, I get it. I get it. He has a lot of
and he'll
beef
insult my
with not
duct tape
one.
wallet and my duct tape change purse, which I made myself.
A lot of beef with you, not just a little vague shit. He has a bunch of problems with you.
Yeah. And he needs to figure out how to deal with them directly, or he won't make any progress, because if someone does have an issue with him, they know they can just summon me, and it just isn't out of win. So he needs to figure out some other way to deal with me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be a brick wall for him.
He needs to learn to communicate. Otherwise, the brick wall remains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he could fantasize about dealing with me with force, but it's not going to happen, because if either he could take me out and just wait for the. I'm a Unitarian Universalist, so I know a bunch of activist rich white people who would destroy him and his whole block. Just what's it called?
Yeah, I'm one of them. Don't you worry.
Yeah, destroy him and his whole block just to virtue signal.
Smash him down.
Yes. So that's not a route to actually get rid of me as a problem. And I also have a video games for e-thugs policy. So if you want to challenge me, so I'm open to challenges, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it virtually, so it actually happens. We'll get a free and open source game. We'll play it. I'll beat you in it, and then you just have realized, well, force probably won't work for me because it got my ass handed to me.
Games for thugs. I forgot it. Was that what it called? Or games for e-thugs? What was it called?
Yeah. I call an e-thug is someone who makes threats on the internet. Like
I remember the e-thug when you were saying you were developing a video game or something.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. If you're an e-thug and you make threats, make good in them in a digital universe. I'll give you a chance to make good in your threats, but we're gonna do it in a video game, literally.
All right. Oh fuck, Hank, Jason, I think I'm abandoning both of you motherfuckers, man.
No.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right, man. Hank, it's been great. Jason, good to see you. And I want to say I'm going to get back to work, but I'm super high. I'm probably going to
Fuck
listen
you.
to music or something.
Yeah, I know Joe Quiz's channel. I'll find it and post it in the summer. What called the description.
So will I.
Jason, do you have a channel?
Barely.
Okay. Can you link me to that channel and I'll reference your
Oh,
channel?
how would I do that? Okay.
You go to YouTube.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, give me a second.
Yeah, you go to YouTube.
I'm new here. Okay. Okay.
You
So
go
I'm in
ahead
the
and,
YouTube.
yeah, you go ahead and
I
post
say
that.
hi in the chat.
Yeah, in the private chat.
No, I just said it in the main chat.
Well, the links won't appear in the main chat. They're automatically filtered.
Hank.
Yes.
Respect,
That should be work.
Respect,
Yeah, I'll go to channel from there. Yeah, that should work. I got the channel from there.
Hey, listen, I'm crazy.
And I'll add it to the description.
I respect Joe for not throwing me under the bus, man. Respect, brother. He fucking did not. He should have. I love that man. I've known him for a minute.
Okay, cool. So I'll say the description. I'll find Joe Cools and add it to the description too.
You gotta be careful
conversation.
Him, man.
Yeah, I think we can continue it.
Smart motherfucker.
I don't need to leave yet. Do you want to keep talking?
What?
I don't have to leave yet. Do you want to keep talking,
hell no.
Jason?
I don't know. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette and I'm gonna go sing. I love singing.
Oh, okay.
You like singing?
Not really. I sing in
Do any
church.
instrument? Do you play instruments or any of any
So
kind?
I have in Casio SA50.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
don't know how to use it.
So you picked up and you're gonna learn how to use it. Sweet.
Yes, I picked up that where I could try to learn it so I can learn how to arrange music.
Hell
I think
yeah.
having a better, just having more intuition for timing would probably help me quite a lot when I try to talk and communicate with people. I know I have that issue. I'm still working on it.
Oh man. I respect you 100%, brother. And
Why?
music is fucking mind. Like, I got my kids into music. They're doing amazing. If you got it, then you keep doing it.
Yeah, but I still have to learn it. But I guess I have the tools to do so.
You do. You do.
So where have you been so far? I mean, I've been on Flow State, I've been on Jack Telco, I've been on Paul Enslaved, I've been on OTW, and I've been on Machine Lives. Where have you?
I'm gonna honestly admit, I don't know any of the channels that you were just saying. The reason I hit here was Joe, brother. He's Joe Cool.
Oh, you're just so cool.
I've known him for a long time. Most of the channels I go to, you could look at Janet Matson, Eric Brandt, Liberty Freak, Joe Cool.
Oh, okay. So yeah, those people don't host their own panels. And
No. Most of them are posted up in prison right now for some are dealing with other shit. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
It was a decade ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I try to stay out of prison.
Yep.
Which is why I need to
I went up with the ups, the cop watching community, the auditing, right? I followed that for the last fucking long time. 2007? Shit. Yeah, long time now.
Yeah, I try to stay away from cops other than Officer Snap since he doesn't have any actual power anywhere.
20 years.
But I have friends who are cop watchers.
Yeah.
But I'm not big on that. I'm about just education, knowledge transfer.
Yeah.
And I hosted this panel. I started this panel as what's that called? A breakout panel from Gen X Jeff's panel because he wanted to go watch a TV.
Yep.
And so I just
follow it.
Yeah. So I decided I figure out how to get some of this working, so I can do a breakout panel so we can continue the discussion.
And you got it perfect, man. Like sound is perfect. The stream is perfect. 100%.
Yeah, I do have an annoying glitch where StreamYard will screw with my my audio settings and turn me down, but it's a work in progress like everything else.
Yep. No, 100%. 100%.
So are you a cop watcher yourself?
Nope. Nope.
Or you're just Joe Cool's friend?
Barely. The fucker doesn't call me anymore. Piece of shit. He used to be my friend. He used to call me like every now and then, say, "Hey Jay, what's up?" But no, haven't heard from him in a minute. Fuck you, Joe.
Oh, then how? But didn't he tell you that he was here?
Yeah, we were shooting the shit today. It's been a minute though. That's what I'm saying. Haven't heard from him in a couple months. And today was a good catch up. I like seeing the smile on his face. It's good.
Yes. But yeah, he says he enjoys my tyranny
He
more
went through some
than
shit.
Jack Talcott's tyranny. So
Yeah, I'll go through shit.
yeah, I like my tyranny too better. The only problem is that it's really nerdy. So I mean, I have to figure out a way to deal with that, but I like it.
Eric Brandt's the man. He'll be out soon.
Here's another thing. I'm not afraid of being awkward. I'm not afraid of having silence.
Hell yeah.
I'm just trying to get to the root of the issue so we can get it resolved and we can table it and we can focus on something else.
Hell yeah. Like music. I love music.
Yeah, I like music too.
Yeah, man. You got a Sing Snap or Carafun?
A what?
Sing Snap or Carafun?
Negative.
Oh, good. Damn. You do karaoke though sometimes, right?
A little bit, but I just do it for church.
Hell yeah. Yep.
In fact, I'm going to tell you what the church is. Hopefully, Officer Snaps is going to watch the video to find people to contact. I go to Sunny Hill, the Unitarian Universal Church of the South Hills. You can watch me on their YouTube. I'm usually there doing second service. That's the one that's streamed. I'm going to put that link in the public chat. Let me get the YouTube.
I'm grabbing it, brother. Damn right, man. That's what music is.
So here's what this is going to do. So the fact that I'm just open about the information, he'll forget that I told him myself where I go to church. He's gonna probably second guess himself about trying to interacting with me because I'm not afraid of him whatsoever. So he's gonna be a neat thug, pretend he's gonna contact my people and do nothing. And that's the safest bet for him, because if you actually did interact, you're being. I'm just gonna say you wouldn't like what happens next. So you might as well pretend that you caught me or whatever for your own reputation. Because if you actually did do anything, it's just you're just not gonna like it. I can't go too much into it, but you won't like it. You're better off just talking to me.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Mm-hmm. So I have an open offer with him. I'll have to do a one-on-one with him on the stream on a StreamYard panel so we can resolve our issues. But I mean, I can control myself. I can't control these other people. So you're just better off talking to me.
Yeah, I get you, brother. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to close all this other shit I got open. I was doing all my banking earlier. The electric bill and shit. All right.
I don't want to keep you. If you need to go, it's not a big deal.
All right. You headed out, brother? I got you now.
I'm literally the dictator here, so I can go out. I cannot go out. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Okay. No, that's cool. All right. I got you queued up now. That's fucking awesome. Good to meet you, Hank. Okay, I'll jump out, have another beer, go fuck around with other. I'm new here on the YouTube.
Oh, okay. Let's see what.
So I gotta go mess around. Respect, brother. Respect.
You know, we could do we degenerates. We could go. We can watch some other stream from this stream. That's always fun.
You good?
So
you want to send me somewhere? I'll go fucking play with them.
No, we'll both go. Okay.
All right. Give me a link.
I'm gonna do the poll, but he does other people.
Play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share a screen to Jack Telcott's stream because that's the thing we do.
Okay.
That's the thing we do here. I'm
All
gonna
right,
I'm gonna do the poll what he does to other people because it's funny. And
I know how it goes.
Yeah. He's really funny
Give me a
guy.
link.
He's a really funny guy, so I'll steal his jokes. I had to get the volume through here.
Okay.
He'd help. If evil desires, well, then the role of the devil will have been served. And,
see, this is
like an older brother who's been playing tricks on mankind, maybe.
We can watch.
So
what would you do if you were talking to Putin? Because I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're exciting me now with this imagery. If you're talking to Putin and you tell him like you do on here, hey, bro, you're imagining disagreements, get out of your imagination. And then he just has you taken off, like disappeared. You'd be okay with getting tortured and kept in a gulag just to try to talk to him about peace? It's pretty ballsy, Jack. I got to give it to you. Pretty courageous.
There's other people who have already done that. So, yeah. I mean, I don't expect that's my future, honestly. Paul, I'm telling you, I think God is with us. And I'm not trying to test God, but I think I'm blessed. I've been saying I'm blessed and I feel blessed. So why not? Why not push it and see how far I can go? If the opportunity can emerge, if I'm persistent and insistent enough each day, eventually the universe is going to align itself and success will be inevitable. That's what I predict.
See, we're allowed to do
and
this
success
because I
is
saw him do it once.
somehow find a way to speak to these public servants
and the application
these
supports
people who call themselves leaders and help them figure out a better way of leading.
I'm a firm believer you're never given a dream without the ability to make it come true.
I'm becoming a believer of that too. And I never used to believe in destiny. I still don't know.
Hank,
but this idea of
I'm headed there. Let's see.
Okay, let's go over there.
No, keep it going. Keep going.
Without fear.
Yeah, go over there.
Started as an idea, and then I convinced myself to believe that it could happen. Then I convinced myself to believe it had to happen. In other words, I had to get this done. And now I wonder if God push.
What do you say to folks like Chuck down there in chat who just said, quote, crazy as a loon, unquote?
Yeah, I like this workaround.
You know, I
If
love
you ban
Chuck.
from somewhere, you can always.
I'm personally
watch
sick of his
their
fucking
stream
disrespect.
from your stream that you're not banned from.
He's been a great teacher for me, allowing me to
And now-
grow in my
and now you can
ability
stop over them.
to
It's very
overlook
annoying
disrespect and
because you
confusion
control
and
the narrative.
ignorance even.
Paul's really smart.
Yeah. You're totally baiting me.
All right, you caught me. And I even did the whole I'm sick of his fucking disrespect, like you say. Like, all right, you got me.
You're
Doing a
freaking
little mischief.
crack me up. And hey, Jason, welcome.
Good, let's go, brother.
I didn't see you join up.
It's been a minute. Let's just see you all.
Man, I didn't know Pootie Pie came on panels. What's going on, bud? You in open toys or something? Play Fortnite or what?
I don't know.
I think I can keep this open and be over there. It doesn't make any sense though.
Jason's got an interesting setup behind him, though.
Mic check.
Pretty wall and
He looks like he lives in a underground pool that's not filled with water.
No, it's a fucking Walmart washroom, you fuckwit. Pay attention.
Is that the Masonic?
Man, you got a hell of a setup. How do they let you stay there full time? How do you get that done? I got to get Brian O'Shea on whatever you're doing. I thought he was maybe part of the Red Shoe Club. You know, they get in them underground pools that don't have water in them and do all types of unspeakable things with children.
Yes. Yes, you are, Tarek. You're annoying. Let me put in this. Let me put this in perspective. I'm being really annoying. I'm actually watching this stream from a different stream like Paul usually does, and I'm not as annoying as Tarek. Bitch boy, please. We're doing a bitch boy thing. Yeah, really. But there were donations. Come on. Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah.
and we don't know how he gets gift cards and whatever else to transfer funds. So I suspect there's something else going on as well.
Sup, Unslaved? It's been a minute.
And you better not get me fucking tied up, sending me shit and then double backing and backbiting on me if you're doing gift card, credit card scams.
I'd find that I don't get that air from him. I mean, Tarek Presents is pretty. He cares about what is authentic and what is truthful.
He cares about how he's seen in public.
He does part of that to some degree. Jason, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna light up another cigarette. Unslaved. It's been a minute since I've seen him.
Okay, so you keep interrupting.
Yeah.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, I didn't even find him myself. It was still Cool's friend. Yeah, I didn't even find him myself. It was still Cool's friend.
What's that?
Fuck Joe Cool. Piece of shit.
Why do you think your opinion?
Sorry, finding peace.
Well, I'm trying, and it's quite. This is life happening moment by moment, and you never do know what it's going to bring. But it amazes me how many people don't actually think about what they offer. You get it, Paul.
Well, that's the thing. You're giving him too much credit. A lot of these people are not capable of the thing you call thinking.
They are. They've just either they've not figured it out. Like they've not realized how it happens or how
it works. They've not figured out the function of thinking. Right.
Okay. I got one quick question. I'm stupid as fuck. Who is they?
You.
That's you.
Well, who's they? You keep
That
saying
is you.
They. Tell me who they is.
That's you.
Well, Jason.
Yes.
Jack, I've always wanted to do the that's you thing with you instead of you do it to me. I've always wanted to do it to someone else with you. So let's do it right now. Come on.
That's you.
Yeah, that's him.
There was something. Damn it! There was something I was going to offer back.
Paul, did you get into the edibles?
What do you mean, get into them? I've never gotten out of them.
Seem very happy now.
Well, today was a great day. The source of completion, accomplishment, a year's worth of stewardship and fellowship has come to fruition in some sense. So.
Yeah, and I didn't get
joyous occasion today. Pause for celebration.
Yeah, and I didn't get in your break today.
You know, it is nice, Paul. I like seeing you in good, better spirits. You're a blast to be around when you're in a good mood. But holy cows, man,
I agree.
When people want to battle, you're ready to battle.
Yes.
And
no, I agree, Paul. I agree, Jack. Paul had a really good show broadcast today. It wasn't about drama. He talked about a lot of good stuff. It was really good. That's the Paul that I used to listen to. But
why are you still watching it? I don't want you watching. I see this is the thing. How do I stop him from watching my broadcast? Do I have to contact Comcast or YouTube? I don't even want him to be able to have access to watch me.
YouTube won't do.
That's the thing.
I don't think you can.
I don't want him watching me and knowing what I'm doing, Jack. It's scaring me. It's getting creepy. How do I have to call local PD or something? How do I stop this? Because I asked him to go away. He won't leave.
I'll call Officer Snaps. He'll do something.
That's not creating resolution.
I'll call Officer Snaps. He'll do something about it.
Officer Snaps. Holy cows. That's another agent for sure. Sometimes we gotta pray. Help us find an answer. Why is this being here? What am I supposed to do with this? Sometimes I don't know.
I got a Haitian woman who says if I bring a chicken over there, she can pray to something and get this guy gone. You think I should go forward with it, Jack?
Ooh, be careful with that. Taking chickens and taking people out.
Read reviews first. Read reviews.
There's people.
Read
who
reviews
know.
first. Read reviews.
See, Hank's a black gay witch. Snafu told me that, so I know it's true.
Gotta be.
He knows
true,
all about that thing.
Damn
Right.
right.
Well, of course, with that
Damn right.
label. What was it? Black gay witch. You've got to know a little bit of everything about everything, right?
Yeah, and like, why does he have to bring in the black part? Like, gay witch isn't enough. Why does black have to be brought in as a pejorative term?
Well, maybe he means black for black
Brings
magic.
brings an extra little credibility.
Oh,
to
maybe
it.
he means black
Yeah.
for black magic.
Maybe,
He never clarified.
maybe.
That's why we need
Well,
to do
then
this
it should
one-on-one
say
with
gay
him so
black
we can get
witch.
everything clarified. That's why we need to do this one-on-one with him so we can get everything clarified.
Here.
I think my microphone's bad.
I can hear
No, I
you.
got
Hart said, sorry, he had to go. His phone is on 1% and his testosterone's
you.
on 3%. Very low T levels. Very emotional.
I think the volume is back up a little bit. Yeah. These, well, Tarek, yeah. He's another character that's kind of a mystery, a lot of questions, but I don't want to jump to conclusions about some of these people. I don't want to believe that they're paid agents and, you know, in on some brilliant scheme to oppress us or to keep us from success. I think these are just confused people, man. I mean,
Oh,
they're
I
just
agree.
hard.
No, Jack, we're
Yeah,
the
like,
agents somehow.
Just being a loser failure with no discernment is enough to
No,
hold somebody back.
Jack,
They don't
we're
have
the
to be
agents
official
somehow.
agents.
Right.
Yeah, Jack.
What's that, Hank?
You, Paul, me, Machine, Jesse were supposed to be agents because
Hank?
well, Jack, you, Paul, we all broadcast, so we must be the Jesse were supposed to be agents because well, we all broadcast, so we must be the agents.
Well, Tarek's apparently not just comparing penis sizes, but now he's bringing it down. Holy shit, dude. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Comparing testosterone count. Tarek, you got
Hey,
it.
Jack.
No, that's not your
Yeah, Jack, yeah,
testosterone count. That's your T cell count. I think you have HIV.
Oh, my.
780 is pretty
Yeah,
high.
whatever. Yeah, I
pray
already
for
know
you,
my
Tarek.
testosterone level, so check yours.
Oh,
but
my.
Jack,
I'll pray
Hank,
for
could
you,
you shut up
Tarek.
for 1 second? 1 second. Let me talk to
How
Jack for 1
dare
second.
you silence black gay voices, you scum?
I love Hank, but sometimes he won't let me speak. And yesterday I had a rant, and his fucking entourage won't let me speak, so I ain't gonna go through all that. Jack,
He
here's
thinks
the
you're
thing.
annoying also. The
Well, I
retarded
don't
black
give a
gay
fuck
witch thinks
what
you're
you
annoying.
think or what Rant think. Let me
No
speak
offense,
to Jack.
Hank.
I'm not speaking to you, sir. I'm speaking to Jack. Jack, with all due respect, this man, with this man sitting next to you, he made indirect threats to Flo 3 days ago, okay? And they were pretty much direct. And TML, he hasn't stopped talking about his wife, and he hasn't stopped talking about a lot of bullshit now. His fucking thing, it's nonstop. It's non-fucking stop. That's why I'm telling you, lady, I've been upset with this bullshit, and I'm attacking him this way because it's gotta stop.
Well,
That's
you can
all.
go fuck yourself because I'm
Well, you
working
can
with
fuck
Jack now,
yourself.
and we're going to work with Putin, and he's going to hire the Kremlin
Yeah,
to
deflect.
kidnap Abby
Deflect.
and bring her home whether she likes it or not. And then TML will be
deflect.
happy.
I know. Deflect and
I'm
don't pay
trying to
$1,000
help.
bucks. Yeah, don't pay $1,000 to have somebody visit somebody that's smoking menthol in Denver. That's a good way. of
Smoking
doing shit.
menthol?
You're
What?
a really good guys.
Tarek.
Yeah.
Well, I speak Slovakian, so I can actually understand Russian, so I can help.
Hey, Jesse, do you speak Slavian? Try to communicate with this Tarek freak.
Yeah, I know. Good joke. Everybody clap for fucking Paul. Here we go. Woo!
That's the thing. You're the joke. I'm just commenting on it.
No problem. I'm a joke. Go ahead, Jack.
Both of you are a little bit funny. You're both characters, and you're both who you are.
Yes.
But Tarek, please don't exaggerate. Right? There's enough things that can be can be confronted. We don't need to exaggerate. And
Yeah, we can talk about it as men.
while Paul talks critically,
Can you get another man in the room?
also talks positively too.
I can be in the room. I'll chaperone. I can be in the room. I'll chaperone.
Okay.
Are we getting to peace through truth here?
I'm
There's
not.
no peace right now.
Are you
That's the thing. Tarek's not going to get peace unless someone goes through to his G spot, his male G spot.
No, unless you apologize for your bullshit that you've been saying.
You
That's
can't
all.
get to peace through normal means with men like
Yeah, no
this.
problem.
And I use the
When you
word men
apologize as
loose.
a man,
I have a piece with
when
I
you
don't owe
apologize
you an
like a man-
apology because I haven't done anything wrong. Unless you can illuminate and elucidate where I've done wrong, caused you a loss, injury, or harm, or owe you a debt and haven't paid. Or you
No,
can
I
even,
understand.
I'll throw one extra on the pile for you. Show where I've been lying.
Oh God, it's Jack's show. I ain't
Right.
gonna go
You
in
don't
details.
have
I can't.
anything. You don't have anything. It's
Why not?
obvious
I can
just
go
by the
in
tone
many.
of what you
I
just
can
said and
go in
did.
many.
You're in your feelers. It's an appeal to emotion, and I'm not dealing with it. Go away.
I'll yield, Jack.
Go
I'll
get
yield.
reconciliation on
Yes.
your own with Jeebus. Stop harassing me. I'm not giving you
Yeah.
anything. I'm not apologizing to you, and I'm not giving you anything. So there you
Don't
go.
worry, I don't want anything from you.
There's your
Thank you.
closure
I
once
appreciate it,
again,
Paul.
and you won't accept it, and you'll continue bitching like a hoe.
Hey,
There we go. I said I yield.
Sorry.
I keep talking. Let Jack talk.
thank you. Sorry. I encourage you, please allow this to go for today.
Okay.
Okay, I will.
Right. There's always tomorrow to cry like a bitch again. And
Well,
we'll take that
So don't worry
opportunity, I'm
about
sure.
it, Paul.
of course.
This ain't gonna go away. I promise you.
Oh, I know it's not because you're a beta male. You don't have to tell me what I
No,
know.
It's not a beta man. I'm gonna expose you, and I'll show you how.
You can't expose me when I haven't done anything, so we're waiting.
No, I know you're
You've
lying.
heard this
Don't
from
worry, I'll
Illuma
expose you.
Tranny. You've heard this from
I
Illuma
will
Tranny and a
expose
host
you.
of
I'm
others.
not
It's never going to
Illuma Tranny.
happen because I'm not lying.
Yeah.
You can't
I'm
expose
not
someone who's not
exposed.
hiding and not lying.
Yeah, really. He's
Don't worry
already
about it.
exposed.
Just
He-
be
yeah,
patient.
no,
You'll
Right.
see.
Listen to him.
More bullshit, false
Yeah,
strength,
really. He's
egoic
already
nonsense.
exposed. He did it himself. Just
Okay.
listen to him. He tells
I
us
yield.
everything he's going to do. There's really nothing else to say. He tells us everything he's going to do. There's really nothing else to say.
You talk to me, Hank?
Paul
I haven't
says
said
his-
anything what I'm gonna do. I just said I'm gonna expose
I'm
him. That's
saying
all for all the
Paul-
lies that
Right.
I'm saying.
Just like all the others in your attempt to expose me, you've
No,
done
I'm
nothing but
saying
expose
Paul-
your bitch
no,
assness. So
Yeah.
great job.
Paul
Don't worry,
tells us
it
his
takes
intentions
time, Paul.
all the
I'll
time.
expose you.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
always good-
Another year and a half like
Paul
Illuma
tells
Tranny,
us
you'll have the goods on me,
all the
right?
time.
Don't worry.
Everyone will
Don't
finally
worry
see it.
Don't worry about it.
Every day.
Don't worry. I'm not
Just another
telling you.
hard in his feelers.
3 hours each and every day. There's no surprise.
Just another guy who sucked my dick before they started talking shit.
There we go. You don't shut up how these people always talk about dick and
I'm
shit.
sorry,
It's-
Jack.
It's hilarious. Go ahead, Jack.
And
Hold
I'll
on
probably do the
for
same thing
just
later.
a moment. Can we actually, let's
Whatever.
just change for a moment.
And I'll probably do the same
Please.
thing later.
Hank,
Whatever.
hold on just a moment.
He's so fake.
Quantum Epic, welcome.
Jack, hello. I'm pretty
He's so
good. How
fake.
are you?
I'm feeling blessed.
It's been a while.
Butthole Winker.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's up, Holmes?
yeah. Oh boy.
Anyone's thoughts on how we find peace? Finding peace in the truth with all the uncertainty, with all the chaos.
Well,
Idea?
Yeah, I'll go.
I think Paul would know best, so we should go to him.
Let's go.
I'll
go now.
For peace, Paul knows best.
Let's go.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
go
think
now.
so. I don't think so.
Fascinating.
Oh well.
I'll defer to him. For
I took
now.
a
Go ahead.
guess.
Tell
I
us what
don't
you have
know.
to say, Paul.
Well, if you
I-
ask Sun Tzu, all the ones who are the most adept at doing controversy are always the most adept at attaining peace.
There you
So
go.
if you're a master at war, you're probably a master of peace.
See?
Yeah, he's at peace. That's why he has me blocked from 2 channels. Yeah, he's at peace.
Yeah,
That's how I got
exactly.
my peace, by
Annoying.
cutting out broken bitch ass hoes like you out of my life. That's
Yeah,
part of my
exactly.
process.
That's annoying.
I already know why.
Money
you
or
left
no
me.
money, I
Nothing to
cut
do
you
with
right
it.
out of my life, and that's why my broadcast and chat has been so peaceful lately. Haven't you noticed?
Oh yeah, it's been peaceful. Yeah.
It's been absent of parasitic, needy people.
And with respect,
I find-
I'm going to clean it up a little bit here too. Thank you, Tarek.
Paul, Mr. Talcott, I don't mean to, this is totally honest. I find peace after I rub one out. I'm just being honest. It's peaceful,
Yes,
blissful. Sorry, I'm just being honest. Woo!
most of us do.
Nice, dude.
Most of us do.
Yeah, he was pretty serious, that one. He was being serious.
Yeah.
Yes, people are fascinating.
I
Fascinating.
was thinking grotesque.
Well,
Of all
I'm
the
trying
things
to be
to say.
nice. Grotesque is fascinating sometimes. And,
I guess it is.
you know, I just go with it. Somehow, some way, though, Paul, we are responsible for creating this. This group is attracted to our light, our message, our energy. We are creating these experiences. Paul, I want to change these experiences.
You're gonna meet up.
You said that with a tone that was concerning.
Well, it was
Paul, I want to
intended
change
be-
these experiences. He's like, I don't like the chips and colors. Give me another hit, a different one this time.
Oh, dude.
You're having a bad trip over there? Focus on the yellow square up in the corner, Jack.
I see it. I was feeling that wall for a little moment there with the patterns of chaos. And no offense, Tarek, but from you, patterns of chaos. It's like, holy cows, how do we stop? You feel that? Right there, that pause, that silence.
That comfortable silence, or was that uncomfortable? It was comfortable for me.
It is so peaceful.
Really uncomfortable for me. Tarek's texting me. My phone's on vibrate, and it's in my back pocket. I got to put it on silent mode from now on. But I'd have been right there with you. I swear.
Move it to your front pocket. It feels better.
Oh my!
No, then I might get excited. It'll get really weird.
It feels better.
Have I?
Hey, I don't know.
I wish
mind is always thinking. Please
I
go
wish-
ahead. Go ahead.
I wish I had an answer for you, Jack, about the piece, but I mean, all we can do is work on ourselves, right? I mean, I'm not trying to, because everyone else is just doing their thing, and I think it's kind of hard to change people, so I don't know.
I know.
I think we just figured it all out. The mystery of the human experience, right there. That was the
I know
conclusion.
what to do.
We can only work on ourselves or masturbate, as Mr. Butthole Winker so eloquently stated earlier. And that's
Very
pretty much my whole journey for the last 34 years. Working on myself and or masturbating. Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, I know what to do.
Well,
I'm gonna
hey,
promote,
whatever
Tarek
works
back
for
to
you. Now we
officer
just
again.
need to go
I
meet
know
up
what
with
to do
Putin.
again. I'm gonna
That should
promote
make you happy.
Tarek back to officer again. You're Officer Tarek now again. That should make you happy.
What does that promotion entail?
Yeah, he's recommissioned.
He just
Now
got
can be
timed out in the
internet
chat.
police again. He's recommissioned.
Catch
Now
Paul
he can be in the
somehow.
internet police again.
Well,
You can catch Paul somehow.
I don't understand what is happening here. Sincerely.
The machine lies. What do you think about finding peace, through truth when one or both sides don't want that peace?
Well, I was actually came up here to go in a different direction with the topic altogether, and I think I was gonna go in the direction of navigating through the chaos because I saw that shit up there too. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll go in the chaos direction because I was gonna talk about life is bounded, knowledge is unbounded, you know, and you have to use, you know, what is there to understand what is not there, you know, but you can only, you know, usefulness ultimately comes from what is not there, you know. So I was going to talk about nature, you know, polycentricity and biodiversity and harnessing power from nature, you know, because nature is what represents chaos, you know, but it's infinitely, you know, unbounded. It has, you know, untold value in it, you know. So about chaos coming from, you know, essentially I was going to use the parable of Shang Tzu and the butcher. But yeah, maybe I'll get to that later. You guys seem like you're on a interesting conversation here. Bless you guys.
Dude,
Is chaos, is chaos inevitable?
It's just around us. It's
Well,
just
I think
inherent
that
in the
you
system.
know, chaos is
It's
the
just around us. It's just inherent in the system.
well, I think it's the inherent sense of contextualization that is there. You know, what it means by, you know, knowledge is unbounded. You know, knowledge is infinite. You know, hence chaos. You know, because you know, infinity has no beginning or end. You know, essentially. You know, so when you look at it, you know, and there's infinite divisions. You know, if you look at one piece, I mean, if you analyze anything, there's infinite divisions within it. So, you know, analysis breeds infinity, you know, in my opinion.
So could
You know, I
one
talked about
person,
this before on Jack's show, but yeah, talking about
It would seem to me chaos doesn't exist at all. Chaos is a perspective of folks who can't perceive the order in which that seems chaotic.
so would one person's chaos be another person's peace?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, go ask Klaus Schwab.
Right. That's true. It is true.
Well, chaos is another word for falsehood or untruth, and yes, untruth is non-existence. But you know, there is lies, and those lies have to be based on truth. Henceforth, you know, because so therefore chaos. You know, chaos is, you know, truth and falsehood mixed. You know.
Yeah, from my perspective, chaos
I like
is the
that.
base, and you separate order.
It's
Yeah, from my
unrecognizable
perspective,
order.
chaos is the base, and you separate those are just based on perspective. Disorder and disorder is based on perspective. And those are just based on perspective. Senses. Order and disorder is based on perspective and your opinions and your senses.
Yes. And all of those change moment by moment. And so if we can allow ourselves to change our senses and our awareness and who we become, the world has created all these rules, right? The material world, the material form, it's built on the logic and the physical hard structures. In the thought process, it's the logic and the material that go together, it seems. But within the material, like Machine Lies said, we can get caught up and lost in all of the details, all of the analysis. There's more than just the details, more than just the strict, rigid rules. There is also the expression of boundless, of infinite, of, well, borderless, perhaps. No rules. That's kind of what love, I think that's what love is. And in the, you know, our limited vocabulary, I think love is the power, the essence, the force of creation. Love is the power of God. And it's through love, beyond the words, that the real comes into form and is realized. And then through the language, through the words, that's where we learn the meanings. I don't know. Now I feel like I'm just going on. Thoughts? We do have another guest. I am kind of feeling like maybe wrapping up pretty soon. But
yeah, that's
welcome,
fine.
Angeline.
That's fine because I don't want
Cute
my
lady.
Is that a Snafu Snaps costume?
That's fine. That's fine because I don't want my stream to be 15 hours long.
All right.
If you want to wrap up, I just thought I'd jump on and say hi, but I'm a little late, so it's all good.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining.
I wonder why Jesse's always smiling ear to ear. She's got a freaky scene going on over there, Talcott. You see her? She's one of those furries.
It's a onesie because it's cold.
It looks cute and adorable. Yes.
Very cute.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, life is fun. When we can allow ourselves to be cute and cuddly, you know, there's something valuable in that.
You have to have fun. That's like, what is life without having fun?
No, Hank, you can't touch her.
How do you know
All
that?
right. Hey,
What are your
didn't
thoughts,
ask yet.
Angelina, about everything that was kind of being discussed here?
How do you know that? You didn't ask yet.
There was a lot discussed, so it'd be easier if that was more narrowed down, unless Jack wants to wrap up, which is fine also. So
Either way, any thoughts on finding peace with uncertainty or chaos, or finding peace with the truth we're not comfortable with?
well, the best truth sets us free. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but finding peace in the uncertain, I don't know if you can. I think you just gotta show yourself, keep moving through it, and until you show yourself the other side. Gotta trust something bigger than yourself and your fears. I mean, it showed up for us this long. That's why we're all alive. So
That's
might as
it.
well keep going, right?
Similar question. What's your advice for someone who can't find a onesie in 5X?
You so
I
won.
know. Do more research.
All right, I'll look into that.
You know what? No lie. I went out to the bars within the last few years. I think it was before the virus stuff. But
You went in a onesie?
no, there's a bunch of adults. Yeah, people are going to the bars in onesies. And I was like, what in the frick is going on with this world? It was also in my
I saw this group of people wearing onesies downtown, and they were carrying a big sign that said, "We're all onesies." It was the best.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you or I put on a onesie, all of a sudden it becomes creepy. You get what I'm saying, Jack? Somehow not as cute as when she does it. So I stay away from it. Not only the 5X thing, because I don't want to catch any more charges.
It's hard to find the costumes, find the ones to fit. Oh my goodness. All right. I feel like wrapping up. I think this has been a good dose for those who may tune in. Thoughts in parting from anyone?
Good conversation. Thanks for having me up. I'll be on an interview later in a couple hours, and y'all have a great night.
Blessings. Thank you, Jesse. Peace.
Love you.
I trust that was for Jesse, but we love you too, Angeline.
I love all of you too.
All right. Anything else from you?
Nope, I'm good.
Thank you, sister. It's great. Thank you for jumping in. Hank, final words, brother?
Yeah, I'm trying out this streaming thing like Paul asked me to. My panels are just all super. Yeah, nerdy. I'm trying out this streaming thing like Paul asked me to. My panels are just all super nerdy. Talk to you guys later. Talk shop later. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Blessings. Thank you, Hank. Appreciate you joining, brother. Machine Lies or Paul, whichever one you want to go with. Machine Lies?
Well, I wanted to read something, so maybe I'll let Paul go first.
All right, well, I'll take my leave. I'm hungry anyway. I'm going to go eat something, and then I'm going to go fantasize about mounting a koala bear. So I'll see you later, Jack, and Mohammed, peace be upon you, inshallah.
Okay, buddy.
Brother, I appreciate you joining today, sincerely. I had fun. Today. Please, brother, what were you
Yeah,
thinking?
this is the thing from Shang Tzu. You know, I kind of read it on my show yesterday, but yeah, it says, and I'll kind of skip around. It says, "Life is unbounded. Knowledge." I'm sorry. It says, "Life is bounded. Knowledge is unbounded." And if you guys want a reference, this is from chapter 3 of the Shang Tzu, right? Life is bounded. Knowledge is unbounded. Using the bounded to follow the unbounded is dangerous. And if you take that as knowledge, that's really dangerous. If you do good, avoid fame. If you do bad, avoid punishment. Follow the middle line and you can protect yourself, complete your life, raise your family, and finish your years. Then he begins to talk about a butcher that never has to sharpen his blade. You know, and the butcher explains his technique like this. He says, the butcher sheathed his chopper and responded, quote, "What your servant values is the way which goes beyond technique. When I first began cutting up oxen, I did not see anything but oxen. 3 years later, I couldn't see the whole ox. And now I encounter them with the spirit and don't look with my eyes. Sensible knowledge stops and spiritual desires proceed. I rely on the heavenly patterns, strike in the big gaps, and guided by the large fissure, and follow what is inherently so. I never touch a ligament or tendon, much less do any heavy wrenching. A good butcher changes his chopper every year because he chips it. An average butcher changes it every month because he breaks it. There are spaces between those joints, and the edge of the blade has no thickness." Now, this is the key line in mastering peace through chaos, right? He says, "If you use what has no thickness to go where there is space, oh, there's plenty of room to play about in." And I'll let you guys chew on that one. You know, he says, "That's why after 19 years, the blade of my chopper is still, though fresh from the grindstone." Anyways, you guys have a blessed night. And yeah, thank you for joining us.
Respect. Thank you. Moving that piece which has no thickness into the space. Something like that.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Respect. Thank you, brother. The wisdom you offer, you share with us is truly appreciated. And to all those who joined in, I had fun. I do have fun with Paul Unslaved when he's in a good mood. He seemed to be in decent spirits today. We also had The Machine Lies and, many others. The topic today of finding peace with the truth, finding peace with uncertainty, finding peace with chaos. Those things are important. That's what life is. Life brings us chaos, brings us uncertainty through the chaos. But through the chaos, through the uncertainty, that's where we narrow down through the infinite field of knowledge and information. Through the infiniteness of possibilities, we narrow down what is certain from the chaos, from the uncertainty. And we do that through the pattern recognition. We've got within us all the tools, all of the, I'm trying to remember words accurately from what I've been picking up with Machine Lies. We have within us the technology, the nature and the technology within us for ourselves to grow, to exist, to learn, to overcome, to adapt, to become more. Now, within the adaptive variable part of our being, the natural beingness of a person, we also, as with nature, we have the ability just to kind of settle into things that may not be comfortable, may not be healthy, may not be life-bringing or life-serving. So, brothers and sisters, if you look around your day look at the world through your eyes, through your moments of your day, and find where you find peace. Find where you find some uncertainty. Find where you find some chaos, and bring those into your awareness with the goal and the understanding, the knowing that there is a peace There's a peace that's available with you at all times in the here and now. If you listen, like right here. Shh. Can you feel the silence? Can you hear the stillness?
Sure.
That stillness and silence within you is the peace that is abound. It's abundant. It is eternal. It is the present. It is the gift. It is the awareness of being. And brothers and sisters, hopefully these ideas will bounce around and make some sense, and hopefully you can find a little more joy in your day. Because with that breath of peace, that's the goal. I mean, that's the next step. With the next step, with the awareness and cognition, the realization of peace in the here and now, that's step one. The next step
Okay,
is
I'm gonna stop sharing.
find.
Whatever. So I have a message for you e-thugs at the end of this broadcast. I am in a network of other broadcasters. I'm going to be allowed on many, many panels. So if you want me to not be on any panels, you will also have to take down my whole network of other broadcasters as well. Or we're just going to be on panels together in our network. So your work is much harder than you expected. If you wanted to hear me in Meat Space, you're going to have to deal with my church. My church is full of social justice warriors who will go apeshit if something happened to me. But if you think your God is going to back you up, go ahead and roll those dice. I just already know you won't like what happens next if you do roll those dice. You're going to get a natural 1. Or a natural 2. Whatever you roll, it's not going to be a good roll for you. But you can go ahead and take your roll anyways. Talk to you later.